Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? I hope you're all well. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I'm really keen for this stream. It's not gonna be a super long one. We'll get into it in a minute. But it's not gonna be like a big 6-hour one because there's just not, there's not that much to cover. I would say probably a couple of hours. So and then, of course, tomorrow we'll do our regular streams like Blasphemous and then Termina on Friday. I have something really fun planned for Termina, actually. You're going to really enjoy what I'm doing on Friday. So make sure you come to that. It's a special kind of run. I think it's going to be great. Now, Chromewiller ate my peach. He's real. I can believe that. Yeah, I can 100% believe that, yeah. Oh, finally home during one of your Wednesday streams. Well, I haven't done a Wednesday stream in like, goodness, when was the last time I did a Wednesday stream? I actually have no idea when the last time I did a Wednesday stream was. It's been a very long time. Even when I was doing 4 streams a week, I had Wednesdays off, so. Oh, okay. Let me say hello to everybody. Who's here today? The United States. The entire United States? No way, bros. Axolotls can regrow limbs and even parts of their brain back. Axolotls would actually be a great topic for Research Club, by the way. Axolotls are really interesting. Carpe the Idiom, how we doing? With a great Anki profile picture, how we doing? More They Cat, good to see you again. Elder Gusto, Pernicious Rose, Putty, Yumi Trash, Lapon Kotsu, how you doing? Is that how you pronounce your name? Gan, how we doing? Fallen Morningstar, Skim Jim, Ruxus, how we doing? Ruan Martina. The Squads, how we doing? Heard of Mothman, but never a More They Do. Well, see, I was the More They Do. Well, one of them. There was a few of us. It was pretty fun. But yes, that's why my name is More They Do, because that was actually me. But that's a different topic, isn't it? How you doing, Alec? Mr. Nobody, Miss Cogsmith, Liquid Lilium, Zhang Li, how we doing? Sorry, my chat jumped. Here we go. HKMS0007. Crow, how we doing? Pusheen, Will Tank for Dank, Fallen Morningstar, Double Deputy D, NASA, how we doing? Comic Con, Cosmic Com, how we doing? Agrin, Nordine Thauco, is that how you pronounce it? Thauco? That's a pretty cool name. Roland, how we doing? You feel yucky? That's no good. You should have a shower. Always helps me when I feel yucky. Which isn't often, so I usually don't shower. I haven't showered for like... I haven't showered since the last time I did a Wednesday stream. Saria, how we doing? Riley Moroto, how you doing? Sylph, Neon Moon, WDK2, Anna, Era, user 2509. Sound like a robot. Are you a robot? We have AI viewers in chat? That'd be funny. What's going to happen in today's stream? Oh, I'll get to that in a sec. And how you doing, Lizette and Vixource? Yeah. So, hang on. I'll get the, I should have said, there's going to be some teething issues for the very first Research Club, I think, as we figure out what works and what doesn't work, and I try to not forget stuff and think ahead and see what will actually work. So we'll go over it in just 1 second. I just want to keep saying hello for a minute. Just let people filter in for a sec. You're not a robot man? Okay, good. Good. That's good. That's good. We don't like robots here. Hey, Lucy, how you doing? A non-mysterious man. See, that's what we like to see. We like to see a non-mysterious man. Hey, El Jefe, how we doing? Haven't been making it to streams, but I'm glad to make it for Research Club. Yeah, thank you very much for coming in, Fallen Morning Shadow. If you can't make it in, like if you can't make it to a stream or anything like that because it's too late or you're doing other stuff, I understand, right? Especially when they're going for like 6 hours. It's a big ask to ask people to sit there and watch it for 6 hours, right? So if you can't, that's no biggie. I completely understand. But I do keep note. I do keep track. I have a spreadsheet of all the viewers, so if you're not here, don't worry, I will know. And your name only gets taken off the spreadsheet if you comment on the VOD saying you watched it. So just make sure to do that. No, I'm joking. Is it about Hammy Hammy? Yes, this is actually about Hammy Hammy. Trying not to melt in this heat. It's been hot here too, actually. It's been really hot. If you know in the future Chrome is going to come for you, what would you do? I would go get an iron mask, and I'll go get a red vial, and then I would practice dodging until he comes, because... Oh, and a poison vial as well. And once you have those 3 things, you're fine. You'll get hit by the club a bit, but you can withstand that, so... Manscaping attendance to the viewers. Oh, that's right. That's right. There's brand new emotes too. I forgot to say. There's brand new emotes. Hang on. Let me grab the full images of that, and I'll grab the I will grab the. So the person that did these emotes is my friend called Bar, or Dear Bar as she's known. So make sure to go check her out because she does some wonderful art, and I'll just post the full pictures on here. They're in my Discord as well, and I'll just post another link to the Discord. The full resolution is in the Discord too if you wanna mess around with them for whatever reason. But I'll just show them here. Here we go. Okay, so we have okay. And then we have Puggers, which might actually be the most cursed emote I've ever seen. It's so good. Yeah, she also did a kitty PNG, if you remember that. And these are available for all members. And you can use them in the Discord if you don't need a membership to use them in the Discord. And then we have, what do they call it? Lull? Lull, which is a great one. Hi there. And not like this. So I think these are all pretty fantastic work. So many chins, yeah. It's hard to pick a favorite. I like them all. I think that Puggers might be my favorite because it's just so cursed. So thanks for coming in, Lizette. Appreciate it. So yeah, if you're a member, you can use these. Hang on. Let's see them in chat. There we go. Yeah. So I hope you enjoy them very much. Sweetie. Something I want to look into is the symbolism of vaginas versus penises in funga, because one is seen as godly and the other one's seen as monstrous circumstances. That's interesting. That is out of the scope of Research Club, though. Research Club is more real-world stuff rather than in-world lore. Bit late? Yeah, no worries. Okay. So, what we're doing today is, so we're doing Research Club, and let me just grab the images for this, actually. Research Club, okay. Now, Research Club is a club where we aim for expertise. So, so the point of Research Club is that, because realistically, in order to become knowledgeable about a subject, you really only need to read a couple of good books about it, right? You won't be as good as, say, a professional or someone who's been in the field for 20 years, right? But you will still have a really good amount of information and understanding about a specific topic if you read a couple of good books, read some good blogs, maybe watch a documentary, that sort of stuff, right? And that's sort of the point of this, is that we can spend, a month, maybe 2 months on one specific topic and try and learn as much as we can about it and become basically an expert in it. And then, maybe people in the community will find something that they become passionate about. Maybe it'll sort of click with them and they'll say, hey, we spent this month researching superconductors. And, maybe like, well, actually, I kind of really like superconductors and, I kind of want to go into this field and, maybe we'll have a bit of a blossoming like that. But at the very least, we'll spend a month researching something really interesting and, be more interesting people at the end of it. And so the way it works is that each month, each time we do this topic, let me get my face in here. Each time we do this, we will pick, so people will submit a topic they think is interesting. And then in these streams, what we'll do is I'll go through them all and get a short list of 4. And then afterwards, what I'll do is I'll post it in my YouTube community tab. And we can, because all polls only have 4 options these days for some dumb reason. And post it in my YouTube community tab, and then people will vote. And then in, say, 24 hours, that will be the topic we'll choose. And then we'll spend a couple of days looking at it, see what resources there are, see if it's interesting enough to spend a month on. And if it is, then we'll get into it and we'll knuckle down and we'll start researching. And then, I'll do catch-up streams as we go to see how everyone's coming along, see what interesting stuff we found. And then at the very end, we'll have one big stream and it'll be like a big presentation and everybody can talk about the interesting things they've learned. And if you're not interested in actually taking part, you just want to hear about it, that's perfectly fine. Because I'm going to be doing all this research and I'm going to be making the stream and doing all the actual content. So if you're not that interested in a topic 1 month, then and you don't want to participate or you're busy or anything like that, that's perfectly fine. Rewinding a little bit, if we'll spend a couple of days actually looking at the topic, doing some preliminary research to try and find some good resources. And if we can't find anything at all, or we realize that the topic is too shallow, then we will do another vote. Or we might pick like the second highest vote. We'll decide as we get to that. I don't think that'll happen. I have a feeling that won't happen, but in case it does, we have a backup plan. What was next? And now, what topics to cover? So basically, anything interesting. Preferably, so I will step back a little bit on this. Not absolutely nothing fictional. Obviously, mythology and religion are okay, but if there's something that's really, really interesting, and you can make a good argument as to why it's worth looking into, then fictional series will be allowed. So say, if you want to do Lord of the Rings, and you make a good argument as to why it's worth spending a month on, then, it might be shortlisted, right? But in general, fictional topics, completely fictional topics, are not really what we're looking at now. So, a good example actually is Fear and Hunger. The Fear and Hunger lore is really, really interesting, and you could spend a month or 2 months just deep diving into it and picking it all apart, but it's like, I think it's more valuable to spend our time on historical and real world things for Research Club, specifically for Research Club, right? And so topics that have books written about them are preferred because books tend to be, older books at least, tend to be much more thoroughly researched and well-rounded than, say, a lot of modern books and just documentaries and modern documentaries and stuff like that. So older topics in general are preferred, and topics with a lot more resources about them are preferred. So, but again, not exclusively. If you can make a good argument for it, and there is a lot of information out there about it, then we could definitely look into it. Like an example of that might be analog horror. There's a lot of content about the genre of analog horror, and I think that would be a good thing to look into at some point. Yeah, no divisive topics. So same as the channel rules, right? So no current major religions. So we'll probably not look into anything like the Bible, the Quran, that sort of stuff. Nothing really to do with gender or race or anything that's going to start arguments. I don't want to weigh into those topics on stream at all. I'm not saying that they're not interesting, because they are fascinating, and they are worth researching, but it's not what I want to do in Research Club. And yes, topics that align with the more they do channel aesthetic are more likely to be shortlisted. So stuff like cults, conspiracies, mythology, etc. So I'm going to shamefully say that I have preferences for what I want to research, and if the topics you suggest align with those preferences, then they're more likely to be shortlisted. Again, not exclusively, because I do want to look at stuff outside of that bubble. Because that's how you grow. You know, if you just spend all your time looking at cults, then, well, that's really interesting, right? But it's like, well, you can do a bit more than that. You know, maybe it's, you know, you add a bit of biology in there. Maybe you add a bit of, you know, archaeology. You know, it just keeps it really interesting, and it can give you a completely different look at it. Like you know, when you start combining cults and religion and archaeology, then you get really interesting stuff like the Golden Bow book, which was huge in its time. I don't know if it's still considered a big deal, but it was huge when it came out. Yeah, and you submit on the form. Now let me just grab a link to that form. If you haven't submitted, you can still submit stuff before we get to it. Here is the link to that. If you have an idea you would like to submit before, and it's going to take a little while to get there, so if you'd like to submit one, it's there. Okay. And that's going to be that's the idea. You know, this first run will be a bit of a test run, and we'll see if it actually works, if it's interesting, if people actually want to do it. And we'll see how long it takes. I'm thinking about a month, but there's wiggle room there. It might maybe a month is too long, maybe a month is too short. You know, we'll see how we go. So this first run is going to be a big test run. So yeah. So do you guys have any questions? Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat there. I just wanted to get through that. How psychedelic to open your mind is something interesting for research. That is a perfect topic to research here. It really is. Let's start with some haram sheet. Skin Bible, best Bible. Yeah, we'll look at the skin Bibles. That's the catch. Everything on the argument starts arguments. Everything on the internet starts arguments. You're not wrong there. You're not wrong, but there's certain arguments that tend to balloon out and will burn this channel down in a dumpster fire if we get into, which is why I don't want to get into them. You get a gold star if you did it already. You do, yes. I used to have a book that would be perfect for this kind of thing, but sadly my mum burned it. It's full of interesting topics about Aaron and things. Do you remember what name it was? Oh, and in the Discord, there is a category for Research Club, and we'll be talking in there. And there's only 2 channels in there. There's just general talking and resources. If you find an interesting resource about the topic, you post it in there. Obviously, don't post illegal stuff, because I will have to delete it. And obviously, I cannot condone pirating books and other resources. I can't condone that. So definitely don't do it. Definitely don't do it when doing this, even though some books can be very expensive. I cannot condone that. Especially not books that are like 80 years old and the author is long dead. Definitely don't pirate them. This music thangin' right now? Yes, this is actually music made by my good friend Mitchie, who I've known for a very long time now, actually. Let me see. Does he have... I'll link him here. And does he have commissions open? I think he does. He actually does a lot of different genres. And he's very good. He made a couple of songs for me. This was an original... just a stream BGM for me. And he made an intro BGM too, which is sick. Fantastic composer. Can't rate him enough. You know what? I'll add them to the description after this too. Because I'm going to be playing this the whole stream, so add. First time joining the stream, how are you? What you talking about, ATM? How you doing, Becoming Monkey? We're talking about Research Club right now, which I just went through, but if you would like a primer, hang on, I have a post about this, don't I? Here, if you'd like to catch up, here is a link for it, because I literally just went through it. Bionicle making of. Dude made lore for like 10 years in advance at the start. That's pretty cool. Oh, I remember seeing a YouTube thing about that. I didn't watch all of it, though. That would actually be pretty interesting. I don't have Twitter and Musky Boy locked down the website, and I'm asking to log in. Oh, no, that sucks. What's your feelings on Castlevania series? I haven't watched or played it at all before, so... It can't be that bad if it inspired the whole Metroidvania genre, right? Submitting Merlin the Wizard as research topic. Oh, that would be fascinating. Merlin was real, by the way. So was King Arthur. This is actually called the Doog Club, but Morday doesn't know it yet. It is officially the Morday Doog Research Club. It's a bit of a simple name, but I think a simple name fits it, don't you think? If we come up with a better name, then that'll be fine. We can change the name later. But I kind of like how simple it is. Morday Doog Research Club. Dive back into witch hysteria and killings would be interesting. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, like you can see how easy it is to come up with topics, and I think that's why this is a good idea. I think something's a good idea when you can bounce off it really easily. And, you know, it's... Even myself, when I was coming up with, like... When I came up with this idea, I was like, oh, what if people don't submit anything? And I'm like, well, I'll just make a short list of stuff for myself to submit in case I don't get any submissions, right? Every YouTuber does that. It's very useful to actually do that whenever you're asking for submissions, because it's a 50-50 whether or not people will actually submit anything. And I was like, oh, I had this big list. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I was like, oh, I just kept coming up with more and more stuff. And I'm like, okay, I think this is actually going to work. So, are you into SCP at all? Could make for an interesting research topic. Yeah. So I guess the idea behind Research Club is to look into stuff that has like meta research. So it's not like actually going in and looking at the lore of SCP, but it's articles about why SCP is so compelling for people. So why do people like making these lists of creatures? Why do people like designing these creatures? That sort of, so like a level up, right? That's more what we're looking at, like why it works so well. So, familiar with Slavic mythology? A little bit, actually. It's been a minute since, because I have a book called Russian Folk Belief. And in that book, and it's the only book I've read about it, they say that a big chunk of Slavic mythology was lost once Orthodox Christianity came through there, because they stamped out a lot of the old stuff. And so they really only have fragments remaining, and it's a book about those sort of fragments, and it was fascinating still though. We play Fear and Hunger, we always have weird topics in our pockets to bring out. That's absolutely true. And even when you're looking at... Fear and Hunger kind of inspired this, because as you're looking into Fear and Hunger, it's like, oh, this is a reference to alchemy. This is a reference to Egyptian mythology. This is a reference to Carl Jung. This is a reference... And it just keeps going on and on and on and on. And it's like, how much did Miro... And, you know, this, I won't lie, this is in the back of my head. I want to catch up to Miro, right? Because he obviously knows a lot about... I know there's a specific word for this, the study of mythologies, right? He knows a lot about all these different mythologies, and he weaves it in really well. Like, even now, what are we, like 9 months after release or something like that of the game? People are only just now finding out brand new references to different mythologies in there. Like, it's just wild. And it's not just like, oh, it's just a coincidence, right? No, it's an explicit reference that we didn't pick up on. So it's pretty wild. I think Miro's two hobbies are making games and then reading about religion is what it feels like. That's really what it feels like. So Miro has a PhD in mystical and forbidden topics. Yeah, it honestly feels like that. As I'm reading it, I'm just like, I'm going through the lore and I'm like, I know 90% of the references are going over my head. That's why I haven't done... People ask me, and this is an idea I've had for a while, a video about references in Fear and Hunger, because there are a lot of straight up references in there, right? Like how there's a reference to like streamers and stuff in there. But it really starts to blur the line between reference and then mythology and then part of the lore and drawing inspiration. Like he blends everything together really well. And it's like, do you include the references to real world mythology as well? And in which case, I'm going to miss half of them because I simply don't know what they are. And I don't... Comparative religion, that's it, comparative religion. And I don't know anything about comparative religion, so... Satanic Panic is a really interesting one, and I think that might be one that will get people mad, because we have strong opinions about Satanic Panic now. And there's actually quite a lot of evidence that Satanic Panic was worthwhile, and people don't like that opinion. So I don't know if we should cover something like Satanic Panic, even though it would be fascinating. But it wasn't submitted this time, so we'll see as we go, right? You lived through Satanic Panic. That's interesting. See, it would be great to have people who have first-hand experience with the things we're talking about too, and get like an actual if we could do a stream, say we pick Satanic Panic, and then we get you on as an interviewer to talk about it. That'd be fascinating to do something like that. And I think that'd be great for like a stream during Research Club at some point. For example, right? There's much known about Slavic mythology because they use wood to write the lore on. Oh, interesting. Took a course about Slavic languages where we discussed it. Yeah, there's a few cultures like that, where it's like, yeah, the culture before them used metal, the culture after them used use pottery, the culture after them used metal. These guys use wood, so we have nothing from them. We don't know anything about them because they used wood, because they were kind of dumb. No, I shouldn't say dumb, but they made a cultural mistake. Turn the Research Club into a Bible study club. No, I don't want to. Obviously, I am religious. I am very religious. I read my Bible every day, but I don't want to use my platform just to push that, right? Because and the main reason I don't is because that saying, what is it? The best way to advocate against a cause is to advocate for a cause poorly. Is that how it's said? The best way to advocate against a cause is to advocate for a cause poorly. So basically what that means is that if you're a dipshit when you're advocating for something, you'll just make people hate it more, right? And I don't want to do that. I'm never going to say never, but I don't expect to ever use my stream to proselytize. There are VTubers that do that. There's one who I've actually known for a while, Abigail, who is actually on break at the moment. But if you do want somebody who does that on stream and will do it way better than I ever could, go look at prayers from Abigail. I think she's on break though, unfortunately. And she's in a Discord. But yeah, I'm not expecting to do that, who knows what God wants in the future? Maybe He'll want me to do that, but for now, I'm not planning to. So don't worry, I'm not gonna jump scare you with we're trying to make you read the Bible. That's not what I'm here to do. That's not what I'm here to do, so don't worry about that. Can we submit true crime topics? Yeah. As long as it's like really interesting, because a lot of the true crime stuff is just like really, and I know this sounds sort of disrespectful to the victims, but a lot of time it's just sort of like basic, or we already know a lot about it. It's like Jeffrey Dahmer. It's like we kind of get Jeffrey Dahmer by now, right? So it would have to be particularly interesting. And there definitely are some, right? Don't get me wrong. There's definitely some stuff that's like super interesting, but it would be better to be a topic that hasn't been covered a lot and is still interesting. And I feel like most true crime stuff already has been, but you know, submit it and we'll talk about it on the stream. So, honestly, scaring me. I'm not good with religion for personal reasons. Yeah, look, I'm just not here to talk about that. You know, that's not what my content is. I am religious, but I'm a VTuber who is religious. I'm not a religious VTuber. You know, you know. So it's different. You know, it's sort of like well, kind of like you know, I don't want to compare myself to the goat, but you know, it's kind of like Wendigoon. He's religious, and you know, he's not afraid to say it. I think he thanks God in just about every one of his videos, but he's not there to push his religion, and that's what I'm trying to be like. You know, I think he's a good example. But he is the GOAT, and I don't want to say I'm anything like him yet. One day, but not yet. Just say moderate religious and not some fanatic. What constitutes the difference, I wonder? I've never really thought about it. I guess a fanatic is someone who's like yelling on a street corner, right? I haven't done that yet. Sounds kind of fun though, doesn't it? Wendigo's good, yeah, he does great content too. So. Wendigo does Bible studies videos too. Does he? I know he did videos about like about the extra, what was it called again? The non-canon books of the Bible. That'd be something that'd be fascinating to research because it's not technically part of Christianity. It's a non-canon book of the Bible, so that stuff would be okay to research and be pretty interesting. Like the Book of Judas and stuff like that. That'd be pretty funny. Sick to research actually. Does he do Bible stuff? I haven't seen them. Does he do it on like another channel or something? What about applying astrology psychology on the ideas of Marxism? I'll probably not talk about Marx because he is very he's a hot topic. He's a hot topic. You fuck with Gnostics? Are they even still around? I don't think they're really around still. They're not very big, so. His video on Dante's Inferno is funny because it's just Bible fanfiction. Yeah, that was a great video. I actually have, do I have Inferno? I think I do here. That'd be fun. Non-canon like Bible fanfiction. Basically, that's what's up. It sort of depends on the context. So canon, there's always that context. The church, the main line, so the Vatican says, these books are official. And then another denomination might say, no, you got this wrong. These books are official. You know how there's the split between Judaism and Christianity? There's more finer splits like that. It's like a massive tree, right? And so it's always from perspective, right? But yeah, so like the Vatican considers the Book of Judas fan fiction, heretical fan fiction. It's very, very bad fan fiction. Like imagine, well, maybe you don't have to imagine. I'm sure Tumblr actually would have literally killed somebody at some point for having the wrong opinion about a fandom, and that's basically what happened in the church. So, any games you plan on playing? Any collabs you'd like to do? I have more collabs coming. And the games I want to play, I want to play Outer Wilds. I want to play Outer Wilds at some point, actually. I got that loaded up, ready to go. And Blasphemous 2 is on the list, so. Is the Bible manga real? I haven't read it, so I'm not sure. There's a lot of comic adaptations of it, so I'm not shocked that there's a manga. You know, it depends on the author, right? Because usually it's pretty easy to just do a thing out of it. Because most Christian denominations just straight up follow the Bible. Not all, some of them have extra books, but most of them just straight up follow the Bible. So most of the time, anything that's based on the Bible, most of them will say, yeah, that's real. So. Gnostics referred to heretic back in the day because of their idea of God. Oh yeah, it was pretty, when you actually look at it, it's like, wow, okay, I can understand why the Christians didn't like this very much. Why the Catholics didn't like this very much. What's your thoughts on the most popular fiction in the whole world? Divine Comedy, Dante's Inferno. I haven't read it yet. I got the Divine Comedy from an op shop a while ago, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. But I heard it's pretty entertaining. So, any RPG or JRPG games have a similar vibe to Fear and Hunger? Oh, actually no, Blasphemous isn't an RPG, is it? Honestly, don't know actually. Most are just walking sims like Yume Nikki and stuff like that. They have weird dark vibes. But nothing quite scratches the itch like Fear and Hunger, unfortunately, so. Is topics about human psyche like depression or fears too broad or sadder topics to talk about? Because I find people personally very interesting in how humans deal with their minds. I think that could be worth looking at. It might be better to focus on like a specific strain of study. So like maybe instead of saying like, we'll look at depression this time, maybe it would be better to say, let's look at this specific psychologist and what they thought about these topics. I think that might be a bit more, well, actually, no, you know what? I just wonder, it might be too broad is the thing, because there's so much writing about like, you know, depression, ADHD and all that sort of stuff. I think you would have to narrow it down a little bit. Maybe like a specific style of treatment. So maybe like cognitive behavioral therapy might be like a better focus. And you know, maybe a specific psychologist or a specific style of treatment. Because it's like, how do you read everything about depression in a month? What zodiac sign am I? My first stream was on the 11th of October. Well, see, look, here's the thing, right? Us demons, we were born before time, so I don't know if we have a zodiac. I'll have to look into it. But my first stream was on 11th of October, so I just usually use that as my birthday, and that's what, Libra? Is it Sagittarius or Libra? Something like that. When you think about it, psychology is basically when the brain's exploring itself. Yeah, it is. Will the form be available every month or two after each meeting? Yes. So when we wrap up, we'll do a stream where it's basically like this. You know, I'll put the form back up and say submit whatever you like, and then we'll do this sort of thing again. CBT is a controversial topic that may cause some troubles if you just use the acronym. That's why I said that. That's why I said it in full. Oh, that's funny as. You're gonna make a lore video for yourself. You just have one already. No, I will at some point, but I don't have one right. No. You don't pick your zodiac based on what sounds the coolest? I guess I technically could, couldn't I? Oh, it could be when we fell to Earth. It did take a while. Yeah. That probably makes more sense, wouldn't it? Anyway. Really just came here to listen while painting miniatures. Oh, what are you painting? I have a friend who paints miniatures. I have a VTuber friend who paints miniatures. You might like him a lot. I'm going to shout him out because I love Hal. He does fantastic stuff. So Hal is a VTuber who paints miniatures. He also plays games too, but he paints a lot, which is pretty sick. And he does tabletop sometimes. He's the best DM I know, which isn't a fantastic compliment because I only know one DM, but he is amazing. Making something nifty for that attempt. Oh, thank you very much. I was in the movie Jacob's Ladder. I did, and I didn't like it very much, but I have read some stuff about it afterwards, so I might go back and rewatch it with a bit more of an open mind. Okay, let's get into it. Is the music too loud, by the way? It feels a bit loud in my ears. Okay, so is this? Hang on, I don't know about this layout, to be honest. This is our layout for today. And so what we got is we'll have the topics up here, right? The submissions, And I don't know, so it doesn't tell me who submitted what, right? So feel free to submit stuff that you might think is like a little bit spicy, you don't want associated with your name. That's fine. And then here we'll just, if I don't know what something is, I'll just punch it into Wikipedia or Google here. So, okay. So first things first, supernormal stimuli and Project Stargate. Hang on, are these two different topics, or are these the same thing? Because I know supernormal stimuli is something. Let's take a look see. Supernormal stimulus or superstimulus is an exaggerated version of a stimulus to which there is an existing response tendency, or a stimulus that elicits a response or more strongly than the stimulus for which it evolved. It's a bit of a mouthful. So the classic example is e-girls photoshopping themselves to look prettier, and then they become prettier than they could possibly be in real life, but people still really like it. Like it sort of tricks something in the brain. Guys do it too, but it tricks something in the brain, and you like that more, even though it's something that could never possibly happen in real life. But superstimulus isn't necessarily something that couldn't happen in real life, I guess. Because the example they give is some birds parasitize other birds. So like a cuckoo will knock out the eggs from another bird's nest and then lay its own in there. But because of the stimulus of the egg, it tricks the birds who own the nest into thinking it's theirs. So even if they lay other eggs, they'll still prefer the cuckoo's egg. So, I don't know the name of this music. This is custom music made for me by my friend Mitchie. So it's like when you prefer anime women over real ones. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. Or girls that like that you can think of countless examples coming out, right? Like, you know, like girls that like boys love manga. What was it called again? Twilight Saga. The guys that are like ridiculously good looking. Like he's so good looking he literally glitters. Yeah, junk food and pornography are the two biggest ones. It is really fascinating. There's been examples where researchers in birds preferred a certain type of egg. When they would lay a certain type of egg, it would be slightly different, and they prefer ones that were bigger. And so researchers kept giving them bigger and bigger eggs, and they kept getting tricked by them, even when they were bigger than the bird, and they didn't and like it was just way too big to ever even be a real egg from them, and they kept getting tricked by it. So this is actually a really fascinating topic. Now, what does this have to do with Project Stargate? Is Project Stargate something different? Let's see. Stargate Project was a secret US unit established in 1978 at Fort Meade by the DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency. Are they like... Well, they're still around. I haven't heard of them before. To investigate the potential for psychic phenomena in military and domestic intelligence applications. The project and its precursors and sister projects originally went by various code names. Worked primarily in remote viewing, the ability to psychically see events, sites, or information at great distance. Is this the one that was like the men who stare? Oh yeah, here it is. The men who stare at goats. Okay, so there's actually a film about this. Apparently the film was quite good too. I never saw it though. I think these are two different. I'm pretty sure these are two different topics that somebody entered. That's okay. Does this actually have anything to do with super? Let's Google it. Right, let's Google it. Okay, so we got Project Stargate. Supernormal stimuli. I think they're just two different topics. That's okay. Yeah, I like both of these. I really like both of these. So this is the first shortlist, and then we'll do a second shortlist afterwards. Because we need a shortlist down to 4. I do really like both of them, though. Original declassified report and how the naysayers who started ignore statistically significant results of the project. Okay. Where do I submit topics? Hang on, let me just grab the link for you. You can submit it here. I think some of the second question was misunderstood. Probably. That's fine. That's fine. I'll do my best to understand, trying to understand what they're saying. And if for whatever reason your idea doesn't make it through now, we're going to be doing this like once a month, right? In perpetuity. So, you know, if it doesn't make it this time, then maybe it'll be next time, right? So, okay, good. Next one. Bohemian Grove, the classic. Getting more research on a topic seems elusive. I don't know if we can talk about Bohemian Grove because of the person who discovered it. Even mentioning who was the person who realized that Bohemian Grove was a shady spot can get you demonetized on YouTube. You guys know, AJ, the person who recently got sued for $1 billion. You know him. I don't know if we can talk about this, unfortunately. Yeah, so, probably not Bohemian Grove, unfortunately. It is interesting, but I don't think we can talk about it. My stepdad was allegedly made to be involved with the Manhattan Project. Wow, that's fascinating. Yeah, that'd be super interesting. So I've been late to reply. I'm mopping. You're mopping water? Oh, I hope you're right. It wasn't like a big leak or something. Religious, like alcohol consumption. The more deep you are, the more drunk you be. Oh, I don't know about that. Some religions, yes. Middle Earth theories and stories will be sick. Okay. Next, here we go. Zampio. Zampio. Let's see, what's Zampio? ARG thing? Oh, here it is. ARG. Probably not ARGs. Yeah, probably not ARGs. And I don't want to get jump scared by pornography or something horrible, so I'm not going to do that. But like real world topics. So, okay. What's next? What do we have? The human condition, because it's goofy and silly, and everyone has at least some understanding of it. Yeah, that's probably a bit broad. Okay, missing 411 and weird disappearances. Okay, so yeah, there's a specific guy who talks about missing 411 is like a specific channel, isn't it? Hang on one sec. Yeah. Oh, he's quite active, isn't he? Goodness. Very active. And popular. Huh. David Paulides is an interesting character. He's done a lot of research on mysterious disappearances that have no explanation. While he has a credible background, a former detective, his answers as to why these missing persons cases have happened are fantastical. Everything from aliens, Bigfoot, being around certain types of rocks, it's all amazing. But despite these out there theories he created, he's at least trying to find answers to the many people who are still lost today that would otherwise be forgotten with time. That is pretty interesting. He has at least, has at least 7 books he's written on the subject. He's also been covered by Astonishing Legends and has done interviews on Coast to Coast AM. Excuse me, why am I burping so much? Okay. So specifically David Paulides. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Can Am Missing is a group of retired police officers, search and rescue experts, and other professionals that are dedicated to researching, on-scene investigating, and generally understanding the issues associated with people who go missing in the wilds of North America. This has typically been a project that is intensely worked by search and rescue teams starting when the victim is reported lost. After years of reading thousands of search and rescue reports, speaking with dozens of victims, we believe the paradigm of this effort needs change. Law enforcement and media usually do not publicize concerns of kidnapping or abduction when missing can be explained through traditional means. Too many of these cases to ignore inconsistencies in stories. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. I like that. Specifically David Paulides. Okay. Oops. Get this thing. There you go. Very interesting. It was me, I'm the alien that took them. Hat kid, put them back. The series sticks around. Something fun for October might be looking into the history and tradition of All Hallows Eve Halloween. That is a fantastic idea. Yeah. Yeah, I think for certain events, I might just say we're doing this time, because like that'd be a perfect topic for Halloween, wouldn't it? You know, for October we research All Hallows Eve, like perfect. Okay. Human/animal souls. I've always been interested in such. I'm not a religious person, but the concept of living having a soul, that our conscience makes us be who we are, and when we die, we just stop existing. We became ghosts, leaving the physical behind. It's so interesting. Sorry for errors. English is not my mother language, but I can understand it very well. Yeah. I wonder, would that be a bit broad? It might be a bit broad, wouldn't it? Concept of the soul. What do you guys think? It is an interesting topic, but I just wonder if it's a bit broad for this. Something oddly interesting is savant syndrome. People who are coming out of comas with improved cognitive abilities. Well, that's weird. Animal soul stuff could actually be very tied to Native American beliefs. Okay. That's true, yeah. Think it's a good topic? Come to believe ghosts come from herd mentality, mourning, hang on, why is this? Mourning at loss, not dissimilar to phantom limb pain. That's interesting, phantom limb pain. Think it's good? Specifically animal souls. You know what we'll do? We'll write, human/animal souls. We'll write that down, and this is the first shortlist. I might go... First shortlist. I'm only saying that because I am a Native American, so it's more of an excuse to learn more about my culture with others. Hey, that's what this is for, so... Okay, what's next? Since cult is preferable, I would like to propose research about Elan Boarding School. It was a very violent cult that predated on little children. Literally any teen in America with any kind of minor transgression could be enlisted in it, and they would stay there for years. There are oodles of materials. YouTube has separate video essays, the mainstream media did a few covers on it, there are books, and the pinnacle of it all is a comic series, Joe vs. Elan. Stuff is just gnarly to read. Okay. I didn't realize there was that much, because I know about Elan Boarding School because I believe... I think Nexpo did a video on it, and I think maybe Wendigoon did a video on it. There were two big videos about it. But it is a fascinating topic, the Elan Boarding School. That was one where troubled teenagers could be sent to this boarding school, which had excellent marketing, but when you got there, it was very cult-like behavior, and like you literally couldn't escape or you'd get tortured. And like I think they had a death there. Maybe multiple deaths. I'm trying to remember. And like, you would have that. They would make kids beat each other up, and you get tied up outside. You wouldn't be allowed shoes. It was awful stuff. Just awful stuff. But it was fascinating, wasn't it? You know what? I'll put it on the list. Was it Elan Boarding School? Okay. Is that called that would kidnap bad kids with their parents' consent? Yes, that's the one. That's the one. I didn't know it had a comic. That would be really interesting to read the comic for sure. Pre-evil orphanage shit? Yeah, it is. Okay. Cthulhu Mythos, Lovecraftian fiction. Lovecraft encouraged other writers to expand on this lore, so there are different perspectives to be covered, with varying levels of consistency and differing themes. All of Lovecraft's original work, Robert Chambers, yeah, and there were some ones, because there was one that, like, there was somebody who kept expanding it after, like, immediately after Lovecraft died, too, I'm pretty sure. We'll probably steer away from Lovecraft, like, from fiction for now. Maybe in future. Because Lovecraft in particular was pretty fascinating, wasn't he? Should I add it to the shortlist? I'm just thinking. I think Lovecraft is one of the few exceptions I would make to the no fiction rule, because it is fascinating stuff. Same with like Lord of the Rings and a couple other things, right? Because it is just such a big deal, right? You know what? I'll put it to the first shortlist. Lovecraft expanded mythos. I just didn't want to do a fictional one for the very first. No, you know what? I'll take it off, because I don't want to do a fictional one for the very first thing. I don't want to go in that direction straight away. But in future, yeah, but just not for the first one, I think. Evolution of horror in media. Be interesting to see how horror changed with culture, time, and media format. See how some popular tropes are created, and besides, folklore is just fun to research. That would be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? And we could go back and like watch like a horror movie from like, you know, black and white, and then like, you know, every decade, like 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. That'd be really interesting, wouldn't it? And then we could add, you know, add a little bit of Lovecraft and add a little bit of Edgar Allan Poe, and that would be pretty interesting. I really like that idea. Evolution of horror in media. Even go all the way back to antiquity, because they have a lot of scary myths and stuff too, don't they? That'd be good. Night of the Living Dead cat is horror. If it's horror, that'll be horror. Which one was that? Because there's a bunch of those like Night of and Living Dead movies that I just can't. They will get mashed up in my head. Horror comedy. If it's a horror comedy, that'll count. Yeah. Your topic? What's a good topic? Expand it to fiction in general. That would probably be too big. It would be better to pick a specific genre, like, you know, romance over the ages. Well, I probably wouldn't pick romance. But yeah, you know, just pick a genre, and horror is great. So track the evolution of specific concepts or monsters in particular, like vampires. Now that would be interesting. I'll put it in brackets. Maybe it's like a sub project. We'll go track specific concepts. Vampires, werewolves, etc. Okay. Zombies, yeah. Zombies. You could probably do zombies by itself, couldn't you? There's so much zombies. There used to be a lot of vampire stuff too. You could actually probably do each one of these as their own topic, to be honest. Okay. Let's keep going. What do we got? Director/creative leading in media. Be interesting to see the ways you can achieve work in a field like this, seeing the routes successful directors have taken. For a few years now, I've wanted to do something like this and take medias from different mediums, like video games and books, and make movie shows out of them. I absolutely love to make a show based on fear and hunger and horror entities in gaming. Love you, Meow. Love you too. I wonder how you would research this. What would you research? Would it just be like, would you just like look at specific directors and like look at their autobiographies, or would you read books that are like how to direct? I think this specific idea might be a bit vague. I think it would be better to say focus on Interesting to see ways you can achieve work in a field like this. Seeing... Yeah, I think it would be better to focus on like a specific medium. So it would be like game directing, movie directing, and then you might even need to break it down to a specific genre again, because particularly in movies, the different genres are just so... There'd be a lot more written about it, like how to direct a horror movie, how to direct, you know, and then look at like... Then you can look at specific directors. Yeah, I think this is just a bit vague, sorry. What do we got? Jeffrey Epstein Island. That would be interesting, but I don't think there's a faster way to get your channel taken down. Or have a visit from the Men in Black, right? So I don't think we can do this one. You start going down the list, and your videos start getting demonetized as you're reading the list. So I don't think so. Oh man, Gendy Tartakovsky would do Fear and Hunger Justice. He did Samurai Jack, right? He absolutely would. He was great. What do we got? Mandela effect. An observed phenomenon or confirmation bias. Mandela effect is interesting on its own, but looking at the research done on it from a critical eye, I think is fun. That would be actually really interesting to see if there's like actual research about it, like academic research and like serious blog posts, and not just and you know and look at all the meme videos too. Why not, right? But just take a look at it with like a really critical eye would be pretty interesting. So. FC's been real quiet since more there's law video released. That would be interesting. That would be actually pretty interesting. I'm gonna shortlist. Mandela effect. Okay. Helix and Helix 2, the game, include the album Absent Moon by Chuck Solomon, composer of the game. One of the songs has Vinnie Vinesil singing in it, really. Why do you think this topic would be worth researching? Uniqueness, individualism, culture, the concept of oneself. The game has a lot of topics worth talking about that are not as common in other types of media. The game even has weird lore. So I guess this would be like playing through the games, multiple, and then looking at the concept album with it, and just exploring the concepts attached there. That might be too broad as well, because it would be... So what we would want to do is, instead of like looking at Helix, we would want to look at, you know, individualism, culture, concept of oneself. Well, even those are a bit broad. So I think it's just like, you know, compared to like Fear and Hunger, right? You know, you can play through Fear and Hunger, the both games, and like look at the lore, and it does cover a lot of those really interesting topics, but then because there's so much happening, you don't get enough time for a deep dive. And that's sort of what the focus is here, is to do a deep dive on a specific thing. And so it's like we want to learn about, you know, the concept of individualism, which is like a philosophical concept, I think. I think it actually is. And so what we want to do is we want to deep dive on a specific thing. So yeah, this is too broad again, I think. And I kind of don't want to play Helix as well. It doesn't pass the vibe check, so. Horror by itself can keep us covered for years and years with all the genres. It absolutely could. And I kind of don't want to turn this into a movie club. So, we definitely won't. We won't just like go, oh, we're doing horror movies this time. Oh, we're doing horror movies next time. We're not going to do that. So this might end up being too broad too. We'll talk about these when we go to refine the shortlist again. So, next one. What topic would you like to cover in the next research club? Machiavelli. His ideas are widely misunderstood due to poor marketing, but what he says is important for people to understand how Hoban hierarchies work. What is a Hoban hierarchy? Let's find out, shall we? Is that a thing? What does a Hoban assessment tell you? What is this? I don't know what this is. Maybe it's slightly misspelled. That's okay. Yes, Machiavelli would be fascinating. I kind of agree. I don't know much about him, but I do get the feeling that most historical figures are misunderstood or misrepresented. So I definitely agree. I would love to cover Machiavelli at some point. So I'll add that to the first shortlist. So, let's see what's next. Oops. Modern cosmic horror. Oh, here we go. Oh no, I took Lovecraft off, didn't I? I think it would just be interesting because not many people cover modern cosmic horror. So I wonder what the difference between cosmic horror in general, including Lovecraft, and modern cosmic horror would be. Because there would be because obviously, you know, everybody says that, oh, Lovecraft works so well because of the humans. That was when humans started to understand a bit better their place in the universe. That's when the modern public started to, well, that's when the public at large started to understand that humans were very, very small in the scope of the whole universe. And that's why Lovecraft is so scary, because he's like, well, what if we are the bottom of the food chain? In every sense, we're the bottom of the food chain. We just simply don't matter as a whole for the most part. And that's why his books are so unnerving. And I wonder if why people like it today is different. So, how you doing, Miguel? So that could be pretty interesting to cover, like why people like Lovecraft. You know, why they liked it back then and why they like it now. So you know what? I'm gonna write that down. Why people enjoy cosmic horror, past and present. I think that'd be interesting. Yeah. Okay. Funeral rites in different countries and religions. It's really interesting deep dive on how humanity treats their dead. Your channel typically focuses on a horror, so this would fit in with a creepy vibe, but also shine a new light on certain horror tropes. There's a lot of info out there. Yeah. Yeah, I think funeral rites are a classic, aren't they? Look, I really can't say no to a funeral rite. Modern funeral rites in the West are very stripped down and bare. I've noticed it recently that a lot more people aren't even having funerals. They're just having like a quick party in the backyard, and it feels very almost callous. So that I would actually really enjoy looking into that. So. Okay, what's next? Solomonic occultism. The grimoires of Solomonic occultism are some of the most influential and known between occult enthusiasts, so much that the grimoires themselves were put into the Index Librorum Prohibitorum by the Inquisition, which includes the Greater Keeler Solomon, the Lesser Keeler Solomon, and Pseudo-Monarchia Daemonum. Now, I was supposed to actually have my sigil entered into the Keeler Solomon, but I kept trolling Solomon, and then he got so mad he stopped it. So yeah, that was pretty funny. It would be fun to go back and like look up all the old buddies, right? See what they're doing. Yeah, Solomonic occultism. It's a great topic. It's always a good topic, so we'll definitely add that. Why don't you just want my body, but a hole in an area can be food for nature, and I can at least do the respect of having my body give back a little bit to Earth. Yeah. Yeah. Pre-Christian funeral rituals are so interesting to read about. Greeks, for example, were burying their dead with a coin in their mouth, while Norse were burning their dead on giant pies. Yeah, it's super fascinating how different cultures celebrated their dead. So, how the heck did you read that without stuttering? I don't know. Solomon and I go way back, so. Okay. Generational trauma. I find it very interesting how people deal with trauma and how they might even do similar things to other people that are close to them, or in general horrible things. So covered by Lisa the Painful, Berserk, and anything else anyone could add would work. I just want an excuse to talk about Berserk and Lisa mainly. I'm wondering if that will get too political too quickly, because generational trauma is a very hot button topic, isn't it? It is pretty interesting, but I feel like that would just get too messy too quickly, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm gonna have to veto that one, sorry. When I die, I'd like to have a tree planted over my body, so life will be springing from death. So the way I want to die is I would like to die in the middle of a grove underneath a giant tree, or I would like to be torn apart by wild animals. You know, maybe both, one or the other. I think both are good. So I can see a perspective on such small memorials now. A lot of financial garbage over here that makes a typical funeral extremely difficult to pay for. Yeah, and you know that's sort of the thing, right? It's just too expensive. But I feel like it's a bit sad that, you know, people don't even really get a full day to themselves anymore. It's like you die, there's a memorial, and that's sort of it. And you know, when I had a relative of mine die, and we had like multiple wakes. We had a big funeral. He did end up getting cremated. Had a big funeral, and we had multiple wakes over the course of a week. And I was like, this is great. This is great. This is what I want. Not that I can die because I'm a demon, but you know, this physical body, right? And you know, I've seen some people that they basically just get, you know, an afternoon party, and you know, maybe one or two speeches, and that's sort of it. And it's like, that just doesn't feel respectful to me. Anyway, on that topic, what do you think about turn of opinion when people hated the idea of rotting in the ground, but now more and more seem to prefer it? I think that comes from religion. It's interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting to see why people change their mind about certain topics, isn't it? Okay, what's next? Nameless horror thing of Berkeley Square. It's a rather gruesome tale in British folklore of a creature that supposedly haunted an old bed and breakfast, leading to many paranormal activities, even a few fatalities, whether directly or indirectly caused by the entity. Okay, let's have a look-see. Thing of Berkeley Square. Haunted townhouse on Berkeley Square, central London. This attic room is said to be haunted by the spirit of a young woman who committed suicide there. Researchers have since suggested the stories may have derived from the odd behaviour of the house's occupant, who slept during the day and made unusual sounds at night. Okay. Kinda like it. There's two videos. Let's see what these videos are. Nameless horror of Berkeley Square. The affluent London borough of Mayfair has been associated with grand hotels and gourmet restaurants. But hidden amongst the art galleries and international embassies sits an innocuous Georgian property that was once known as London's most haunted houses. What was the nameless horror of Berkeley Square? I'm kind of digging this. I love this. Hang on, I love this. It's great. What a great thumbnail. Discover the mysterious and terrifying creature from British folklore known as the nameless horror of Berkeley Square. The spine-chilling cryptid has allegedly haunted the city of London since Victorian era. Stories of their malevolent presence have been told for centuries. Join us as we delve into the deep and dark history of this ancient and feared demon. From its origins to its rumoured sightings and terrifying effects it has on those who have encountered it. Find out why this cryptid has become one of the most famous and enduring scary stories of all time. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. You know what? It's a nice, simple one. I like it. Let's write it down. What we'll try and do is have a mix of stuff that's like yeah, this is just a cryptid. And stuff that's like, oh, bigger, more philosophical ideas. You know, go from like supernormal stimuli, which is like straight up science, to you know, cryptids, to, you know, philosophical and religious stuff. I like being able to jump around like this. I think it's really interesting and become really well-rounded. So these are all great ideas so far. What topic would you like to cover in the next research club? How to research. So we can get off on the right foot. Next would be logical fallacies and how to use them to prove a point. I don't want to do that. I don't want to use a logical fallacy. Yes, that would actually be a really good one to start off with, wouldn't it? Let's see, what's this? Research mirror. Roll for free starts 17th of August. 5 hours to complete. Maybe we could just do this for like the first week. And just like smash this out. What is Coursera? Can you like... Do you have to pay for like Coursera? Well, it says for free, doesn't it? Maybe we could just like do this straight up anyway, and then move on to the next topic straight away, because it won't take that long to do. Financial aid available and it starts for free. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna write that. We won't do it as like a full topic, but I'll write it down on the shortlist just to remind myself. Hang on. Here we go. Put that there. Because there's also how to research, how to read a book. There's literally a book called How to Read a Book, and it's really good. Just paste. No, hang on. Oops. No, don't do that. Yeah. I'll take a look at that later. That's a good idea. I don't know if we should do like a full research club on it, but we'll think about that. Maybe we'll spend like a week on it. How much of the Mandela effect do you believe? Is it really a glitch in the system or just a bad case of memory? I think, I don't think Mandela effect is real, but it would be fun to research it though and have a look at it, right? Any restrictions on the topics? Some, yes. The only restriction that is 100% set in stone is nothing that is going to cause a huge shit fight. You know, so no modern Christianity, Judaism, no modern religion, no modern race, gender, that sort of stuff. I'll just link the tweet again with the full list. Where is it? Here's the full breakdown, but in general, yeah, some things are preferred. So some things they're not technically banned, but they'll probably never get in. So just go over the list there. Hang on, where's my... Here we go. Hey, Customer Com. Welcome back. Okay. Tarot or perhaps any largest cult would be a good starting point. Could use a test run to see how this whole thing goes. Aum Shinrikyo. Aum Shinrikyo are fascinating, aren't they? And I'm a big fan of tarot. Let's write them down. Tarot is super fascinating. Shinrikyo. Is that how it's spelled? No, it's not. Shinrikyo. There we go. Okay. Okay. Disappearance of Yuba County 5. Yes, the classic. For 40 years, the cold case has left police and civilian investigators stumped. 5 men on their way home from a basketball game go up a mountain in the opposite direction of home, with 4 of 5 of them confirmed dead. Last one seemingly vanished from the planet. This seems like a good place for the first research group, as it gives many angles to speculating and looking over details. Should be plenty of materials to go over as well, and it should provide everyone involved with a good amount of practical brain work. Yeah, this is pretty fascinating. It will probably not be picked for the final shortlist just because it's been covered so much. That's probably the same as Elam Boarding School, actually. Elam Boarding School has been covered like a lot. a lot recently, so I'll probably steer away from topics that have like, you know, that Wendigoon and Nexpo and all the big ones have covered. But it is worth putting it in there, right? So I don't really believe the Mandela effect causes your brain, because your brain is good at making things up and messing with what you remember, and the more effort you put into it, the more it gets distorted. Absolutely, yeah. The brain is very, very good at making mistakes. When the OnlyFans dropping, probably never. Research of Dr. Spencer Black. It's a cool artistic way, but I'd like to actually know more about the topics and talk about it with someone. The son of a grave robber, Dr. Black studies at Philadelphia's esteemed Academy of Medicine, where he develops an unconventional hypothesis. What if the world's most celebrated mythological beasts, mermaids, minotaurs, and satyrs, were in fact evolutionary ancestors of humankind? Wait, is this real? The research offers 2 books in one. The first is a fictional book. Oh, it's fiction. Oh, okay, it's fiction. The second book is his magnum opus, Codex of Extinct Animalia, a Gray's Anatomy for Mythological Beasts. Yeah, we'll steer. This is definitely fiction, right? Hang on, let me see. Academia.edu. Is it real? Oh, that's a full PDF. That's like the full PDF. Can't go on Amazon. No, this isn't. This is fiction. Yeah, no, we won't get fiction. We won't get fiction. Okay. Yeah, no, we won't look at that. Picture I found of cat dog. Cat dog may be real and change science forever. How does the animal defecate? And not safe for work. Sorry. World leaders need to know about this. Real picture of cat dog. Looking at it now. Let me just see this. See if it's actually. I can actually put this on stream. One sec. Wow. What the heck? Is this real? I think we need to look into this. Both God and science can explain this phenomenal animal. My wife says she saw a similar creature in the woods of Vermont, but I don't believe her. Well, look, I don't know. This does look kind of legit. Yeah, you know what? It's going on the list. We're doing it. Cat dog. Real. Here we go. Yeah, 100%. I believe that. We definitely need to look into that. We're not even voting, we're just going to do that. Advances in phage therapy. Antibiotics becoming less and less effective due to antibiotic-resistant bacteria. This subject of study, using bacteriophages to treat bacterial infections, may be our only hope to not go to a pre-antibiotic era, where people would die from bacterial infections with no hope of recovering. Okay, now this is interesting. This is the sort of stuff I would love to look into. Let's see. Re-establishing a place for phage therapy in Western medicine. Use of bacterial viruses as antibacterial agents has a long history. Therapeutic phages are especially useful in absence of alternative treatments. This is the case in pre-antibiotic era and is again true. Okay. This is super interesting, yeah. This is the exact sort of science-based stuff I'd love to look into. Okay, we love this. This is going on the list. 100% on the list. Bacteriophages are so funny, they look like... Do they? Let's have a look-see. Oh, these fellas! Yeah, they're aliens. Look at this. That's straight up alien, isn't it? I'm sorry, but you can't convince me that it's not. Just look at the damn thing. Severed experiments with severed dog heads are horrifying. Oh, yeah, they're terrifying. I don't know if I'd want to research that. That's like cruel. Wow. Hence why humans have more health problems now compared to back when we're infected by parasites. We are still infected by parasites. Look at them. Little different fellas. We got a medium fella, we got a long fella, we got a short fella. Wow, impressive. Yeah, this would be a great topic. Might be a bit science heavy, but that's perfect. That's perfect. Great suggestion. I love it. Okay. Superstitions about funerals. Oh, here we go. This is another similar. Yeah. This is very similar to funeral. Where was it? Funeral rites, wasn't it? Superstitions about funerals. Every culture on Earth has various beliefs about the dead and the caretaking of them. Many of these beliefs tend to be rooted in religion or regional folklore. Could be a possible multi-part discussion. Yeah, it's a good idea, isn't it? What's this? Let's have a look at this. We love massive links like this. If you get a massive link like this, then you know it's going to be a good one. Black must be worn. Pregnant women should not attend memorial services. Really? Pallbearers should wear gloves. Passing funeral procession or county cars in it will bring your own death sooner. Funeral attire for the dead should not belong to a living person. Yeah, interesting. Really interesting stuff. I like this. I guess what we might do is we'll go... Where is it? Superstitions. That's not how to spell. About funerals. Because you can sort of wrap them up together, can't you? How did I misspell that? Oh yeah, I added the S. Okay. What's next? Poetry. Because poetry is cool. It is cool. Here we go. Akafali cult. Akafali cult was Asafali. Akafali? Asafali. Akafali. Akafali cult was a 1930s French cult that promised, but never committed, human sacrifice. What? Oh, I know these guys. The creator was also a prominent magician at the time. The creator was a prolific writer, and the cult had its own short-run magazine. Yeah, I know these guys. I think it's on Wikipedia. What's this search? Where's that search button? Akafale. No, that's not how it's spelled. Akafale. Asafale? Yeah, these guys. Yeah. Asafale is a name of a public review created by George Bataille, with 5 issues. A secret society formed by Bataille and others who had sworn to keep silent. Its name is derived from the Greek akephalos, meaning headless. And look at this picture. It's sick. Zoom in a bit. Yeah, I know these guys. The Akafale cult. Yeah. Because of its very nature, it is difficult to describe the society's acts. Bataille referred several times to Marcel Mauss, who studied secret societies in Africa, describing them as a total social phenomenon. On this model, he organised several nocturnal meetings in the woods, near an oak which had been struck by lightning. Members of the Akafale cult were required to adopt several rituals, such as refusing to shake hands with anti-Semites. Oh, I guess this was the 30s, right? And celebrating the decapitation of Louis the 16th? An event which prefigured the chiefless crowd targeted by Akafalite. Members of the society were also invited to meditation on texts of Nietzsche, Freud, Sade, and Mauss, read during the assemblies. To psychologically prepare for the violence and losses that active duty in the French resistance to Vichy Nazi occupation of France would bring, members discussed carrying out a human sacrifice, but this may have never been carried out. Okay, this is exactly the sort of stuff we would love to cover in this. Yes, that sounds super interesting. The Akafale cult. What is it? Akafale review? We'll just write Akafale. It seems to come up anyway. What if Funga 3 was from the POV of a sulfur cultist? That'd be interesting, yeah. Yeah, okay. Great. That's a great suggestion. 1936. Yeah, that's around the time the Nazi party were getting big, weren't they? Depending on how much they start leaning into, how much they end up talking about like the Nazis and anti-Semitism and stuff like that, we might have to have a quick look at it first. But if we do end up picking this topic and just because it might end up getting having too many keywords that start too many arguments, but we'll see. But otherwise, this seems like a perfect topic. Okay, what's next? It's loading. Here we go. Electroculture farming. What is electroculture farming? Using electricity to boost crop yields? What? Okay. What is electroculture farming? Electricity helps plants. What is electroculture? Does it work? This kind of sounds cool. What is electrical farming? Electroculture gardening is a cutting-edge and fascinating method of plant cultivation that makes use of electrical currents to promote plant development and boost output. Okay, this sounds kind of rad. Yeah, okay. Is it on Wikipedia? Let's see. There's a French article for it, but is there an English one? Can we change? It's in Dutch and French, but not English. Okay, maybe we can write the English page on the Wikipedia for it. Okay, this sounds really rad. It's so cool. It's looking cool. Differences between RO water, soft water, and hard. This site sounds kind of cool anyway. Plague Run Mega Worm Castings. Bug Clear Ultra. This whole website seems really cool topics, doesn't it? Get ready to electrify your gardening game and unlock the hidden potential of your green thumb. In this electrifying blog post, we delve into the fascinating world of electroculture gardening. Yo! Davisville, thank you so much.
What is happening here? I enjoy your content, sir. It's your fault I'm interferent hunger.
I'm glad I can inflict it on more people. So what we're doing today is, but thank you so much for the 50. I really appreciate it. But what we're doing today is we're doing Research Club. We're basically, just in a nutshell for everybody who's come in late, is what we're doing is it's a separate thing from the Fear and Hunger streams, but we're picking a topic and then spending about a month, maybe longer, maybe a bit shorter, and then deep diving on one topic and finding out as much as we possibly can about it. And then have a big stream at the end where it's like a big presentation. We talk about it and you know, just try and make ourselves more interesting people by learning about interesting things. And you guys submit the topics, but what we're going through now, I'm just going through all the different topics you guys have submitted. And then I'll do a short list of about, I think it's 4 is the max, and then we'll do a vote. And yeah, we'll spend a month researching it, so. Yeah, electro farming sounds really cool. Sounds dangerous, but cool. Okay, I like these. Thought plants benefited from Bronto more. Well, can you show what topics have been brought up so far? So these are the ones that have been shortlisted. Hang on, let me just scroll up a bit. You know what? I'll just make this bigger. We'll take a... So, what we'll do is we'll take a short break because it's been about an hour. And so when I started the stream, only 29 were submitted. Can you see that? You can't quite see that. And then more have been submitted then. And I wanted to just have a quick look beforehand and make sure there's people haven't submitted anything naughty. So we'll take a short break after this. But these are the shortlisted ones so far. Supernormal stimuli, which is things that are too good to be real, or things that push reality a bit far and then trick your brain into liking them. Project Stargate, which is a CIA psychic testing. It was something like that. David Polides, who was looking into missing people. Human animal souls, self-explanatory. Elan Boarding School was that boarding school cult. Evolution Horror Media, self-explanatory. Mandela Effect, you'll know what that is. Machiavelli, why people enjoy cosmic horror in the past and present. So this isn't like just reading like Lovecraft, but it's trying to understand why people liked Lovecraft and why they like him again now, why he came back. Funeral rites, superstitions about funerals, self-explanatory. You know, Solomon, like the Lesser Solomon. This is where we get a lot of our demon summoning stuff from, is the books of Solomon. So, the thing at Berkeley Square is British cryptid or spirit. I guess you call it cryptid. That haunted a specific location for a while. Tarot, self-explanatory. Shamrikyo was a Japanese cult that killed a bunch of people. Yuba County 5. It's 5 people who disappeared in Yuba County. Wendigoon's done a video on it. Cat Dog Real is... it's not a... I'll take... This one's serious, I'll take it out. Phage therapy is alternative way to kill bacteria than antibiotics. Acafale was a French cult in the 1930s, and they had their own... magazine, and electroculture farming is using electricity to boost crop yields. So, so these are the ones, and then we've got another, what's that, 24 to go through. So if you want to join the Discord where we will be discussing this stuff, you can join it here. And we'll take a short break. And no chocolate today. I'm actually out of chocolate, so no chocolate today, unfortunately. And I'll take a short break. I'll stretch my legs. I might get another... I could get a coffee. Maybe I'll save it for tomorrow. Maybe I'll just have a glass of milk. I think I'll just have a glass of milk. Yeah. Yeah. So great submission so far, guys. Really enjoyed it. And we'll take a short break, and we'll be Edgefield reporting in Hawaiian fires that just happened were initiated by downed power lines hitting some plants and trees. Electric gardening gone wrong. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad to see that happening, isn't it? Anyway, okay, we'll only be a couple minutes, so. Yeah. Okay, we are back. Okay. I'm at work, let's do some shit about the Iliad. I would love the Iliad as well. Hang on, I forgot to check. Let me just quickly just double check these other ones. Make sure there's nothing naughty in there. One second. Maybe you should do the Aeneid. That would be good. Nobody ever talks about that one, do they? I haven't read that one yet. I've read the other two. I think my headphones give me headaches. I think they're too tight. I think I need to get earbuds. I was really good when... I like earbuds, but my earbuds broke and then I just had big headphones. And I think they just give me headaches. You're late? That's okay, Nutgrove. We're still halfway through. One second. Just double checking. There's nothing naughty in these submissions. Well, there's some other good ones there. Okay. Good. Hang on, let me just... Where are we up to? So 29, wasn't it? Okay. What channel in the Discord is used to send link for the topics? It is not in the Discord. It is... Let me just grab that for you. Here. Post them here. Okay. The Ars Goetia is the Lesikia Solomon, so that's already covered. Okay. Here we go. Question, suggestion 30. SpongeBob skin theory. I think that's a bit modern to have a lot of research about it, so. Cybernetic enhancements can be used to change the human race. Ongoing a very relevant topic. Cybernetics? Cybernetics is pretty interesting. You know what? I'll put it on the list. Cybernetics. Might end up being a bit broad. We'll think about it later, but I think we'll think about that in a minute. Celebrities getting replaced conspiracy. Creepy, weird, and somewhat macabre. That is pretty interesting. I wonder if there's enough analysis about it for us to really look into it properly. I worry that there won't be enough like real academic discussion about it, is the thing. Yeah, I don't think there would be. I think it's just not talked about properly enough. Cicada 3301. That is a pretty interesting one. Cicada is pretty interesting. Yeah, you know what? I'll put it on the list. You guys know Cicada, right? That's one of the biggest ones. Toxicology. I wish I studied toxicology myself. I feel as a science has a lot of content and sources. It's cool. I think researching something like forensic or natural toxicology would be especially interesting. Yeah, I think we'd have to pick one. We could look into toxicology. I kind of like that. Yeah. You know what? I'll write it down. Toxicology. There we go. Cool. Time to deep dive into the world of paintings and how they're used for money laundering. I think that's officially classed as a conspiracy theory, so I don't know if we'll be able to get away with that. Online communities in dead games. Very strange and obscure communities and online cultures out there centered around very old and abandoned games like worlds.com. One example is Nexpo's vid on worlds.com. There's probably a lot more out there. Okay. Online communities in dead games. I wonder how much you'd actually be able to talk about that, though, is the thing. Because apart from like a couple of big videos about that, I'll write it down, but again, it's a bit iffy, I think. It's a little bit iffy. Unification Church yet? No, they haven't. If that's like a modern religious movement, I would be hesitant to put it on the list anyway. How you doing, Nazumi? Why talk when we can investigate hands-on? That's true. Hands-on investigation would be pretty interesting. We'll think about that. Slavic mythology. Here we go. Slavic mythology is not very well known. I think people should know about it. Yes, Slavic mythology is good. Mythology. Element hunt. The element hunt. As a physics student myself, I can say the element hunt is straight up wild, especially when it comes to elements 99 and 100. Also, the book about this has a cool ass name. Super Heavy by Kit Chapman. Oh, so like the actual periodic table. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Actually, let's look at Goodreads. Goodreads should be good. I'm gonna go to Amazon so it doesn't dox me. Oh, go away. In-depth look at how elements are discovered, why they matter, and where they'll take us. The science of element discovery is a truly fascinating field. It's constantly rewriting the laws of chemistry and physics as we know them. Super Heavy is the first book to take an in-depth look at how synthetic elements are discovered. That is pretty interesting, isn't it? I remember seeing a video about that where someone kept faking elements. Okay. Yeah, the element hunt. That's interesting. Okay. Merlin. Ah, easy. Merlin. Arthurian legend is fascinating. Yes, it is. Merlin was real. Arthur was real. Yeah, fascinating stuff. Really fascinating stuff. Absolutely. Spanish Civil War. This isn't really in the zeitgeist compared to its other contemporaries, fascist Italy, Nazi Germany. There's plenty of historical literature about it. It helps provide insight into the state of Europe at the time as a keystone moment. It's heavily photographed, and I think that's just cool. Okay. Paul Preston, Spanish Holocaust Architects of Terror. Big YouTube documentary. It is pretty interesting, but I think I would probably not want to cover it in Research Club because of its ties to the Nazis and the fascists. Because, yeah, it just starts a lot of fights when you start talking about that sort of stuff. And I don't want to... Half the reason I don't want to talk about this stuff is because it attracts the people who enjoy talking about this stuff, and they tend to be pretty tiresome. Which is a shame because it means there's some topics there's really like fascinating topics that we can't talk about because it just like Nazi occultism, super interesting. No fucking way you can talk about it. Like why did one of the strongest armies in the world get so neck deep into occultism? Like what? Like that's just fascinating. Like why they would do that. And how that may have impacted the war and impacted the things that they did, but it's like you just can't talk about it, unfortunately. So, which is a damn shame. But yeah, we just have to steer clear of those topics, I think. Otherwise, I would have picked it for sure. Jungian psychology. Jungian psychology has affected upon many studies of psychology and several fields. And Jungian psychology has aspects of metaphysics in it, be tied to religions, mythologies, and sciences on the world. Yes, this sounds fascinating. Yeah. Yeah, because Jung made up. He invented the theory of synchronicity, didn't he? Just super fascinating stuff. So yes, absolutely. Jungian psychology, definitely on the list. Yeah. De Broglie-Bohm theory. What is this? If this theory is false, then reality appears to depend on an observer. If this theory tells that reality is independent of an observer. Theory about different interpretations. Okay, let's take a look at this. Nazis are really wild from their military occultism and pirate-like thirst for valuables. Oh yeah, they were very interesting. It's just such a hot topic these days, isn't it? Something like deep diving into ARGs, enter on topics for research club. Probably not. I would lean away from them. Unless they are particularly culturally significant. Like, Cicada is culturally significant because it was... it's such an enduring mystery, and it was one of the first big ones. But just like a regular ARG, probably not. How about even Unit 731? Yeah. They would be... It's hard to say, isn't it? I think specific, like super specific topics like that would be okay. It's like we're just looking at Unit 731 that everybody agrees was bad. Nobody, there's zero argument about it. Like nobody likes Unit 731, not even the Japanese. I think that would be okay. But it would be case by case. So, you know, feel free to submit stuff like this because it is really case by case. You know, I guess you might be able to swing like, okay, what's a specific Nazi experiment they did? Like allegedly they did, I think it was somebody said they did time travel experiments. You could like take a look at like specifically that, and that would be interesting. Or maybe like Nazi rocket science could be a specific interesting topic, but it wouldn't be like Nazi occultism because that's like, it's too broad. Or like USA cover up during World War II, it's like, it's a bit broad, so it would really depend on the topic. Oh, I just got a massive wave of a headache here. I've still got the flu. Sorry, I just need a minute. I need to go get a cold and flu tablet. Sorry, I'll just be right back. And thank you just in time for Stream Elements to start screwing up. Okay, we are back. Yeah, that just came out of nowhere. It was worst headache I've had for a while. Oh, okay. Let's keep going. I need to actually, you know what? I need to take my headphones off. I think the headphones are pressing on my skull, and as soon as I put them back on, I felt it again. So I think it's just, it might be just be the headphones, and just like my head is just congested. So, okay. Yes. Interesting. Right, what are we up to? Pilot wave theory, interpretation of quantum mechanics, addition to the wave function. Oh my goodness, I can't understand half these words. Theory is deterministic and explicitly non-local. Velocity of any one particle depends on the value of the guiding equation. Is this going to be too complicated? I wonder. Because I don't understand half these words. Nothing like mixing headaches and quantum mechanics. I know, right? Oh, it's a double slit experiment. Somebody would have done this down. Somebody would have done this for dummies, right? I'll put it on the list. Okay. Okay, what's next? How did the Visigoths succeed in How did the Visigoths succeeded to reconquer Iberia and not Rome? I'm from Spain, and the Visigoths used to rule in Iberia as a protectorate of the Western Roman Empire, but they were pretty much barbarians. Why did the Romans let the Visigoths reconquer Iberia? Now, this is interesting. Have you heard about or read The Golden Bow? Yes. I did read some of it. The copy I had was actually not very good. It was printed weirdly. I need to get a better copy, I think. Anyone mentioned Agatha yet? No, unfortunately. Yeah, okay. So the Visigoths conquering of Iberia. I like that. Visigoths conquest of Iberia. Okay. Forensic and or mortuary sciences now. Okay, so the last one was the culture of it. This is the science. It'd be interesting to see the evolution of these sciences throughout time, how new technologies allowed for a better understanding of the human body, and how people's approach to death changed with it. We could learn of how corpses are prepared for funeral and cremation, and how DNA is analysed and used in forensics. Maybe even share some interesting stories of real-life crimes and trials. Yes, interesting. You know what? I'll put it underneath. Mortuary forensic. Is that how it's spelled? No. Sciences. Okay, that's pretty. How's it spelled? Forensic. Did I not spell it? Oh, right. Need to turn the music down a touch? Yeah, okay. I can't actually. I don't have my headphones on at the moment, so I can't hear it. Okay, what was next? Yep, I like that one. Theosophy is super interesting. Yeah, theosophy, looking into theosophy would be perfect for Research Club, so. Ironically, thinking about Don Quixote makes me think of how people become enveloped in warped up illusions. Yeah, oh yeah, it's a great analogy, isn't it? Abella Best-Girl, we can look into that, but I think if we look into that in Research Club, we'll find out that Abella is in fact not Best-Girl, and that Olivia is, Is there a Discord somewhere? Yes, there is, in fact. Here is the official More They Do chord. The Dude chord. Witch hysteria and witch killing. So what do they call that? Was it the Inquisition? Interesting moment of history when mass hysteria was with the fear of the supernatural. I guess the witch burnings are slightly different, aren't they? Than the full Inquisition, right? So yeah, you know what? The witch. What do they call that? Witch burnings. I think that's a good topic to cover. Yeah. Okay. Are you ready to be put in the shrine in the village by the father for that heresy? Sorry, I'm just stating a fact. You know, I'm just stating a fact. You know, it's they hated him because he told the truth. So Witch trials, that's the word. Yes, witch trials. Thank you. Oh. Hey, Emma. How are we doing? Just during the stream, heard talking about Conquest. You heard about Sealand before. Isn't that the one that's like a country on an oil rig? It helps I've written a long time ago a list of Slavic mythological creatures on Mythos Wiki. Yeah, that will be good. Yeah, if we pick Slavic mythology, then that'll definitely be really useful. Salem Witch Trials. Yes, that was a classic. Spring Heel Jack would be pretty interesting, yeah. Thus Spake Zarathustra by Nietzsche. This book can lead to the world of the author's philosophy. Nietzsche is also an interesting figure, seeing his history is a pretty complex individual. Also, the book itself can be interpreted in many ways depending on who reads it, so I think it'd be a good experience to share. Yes, that would actually be... I actually like that idea. Thus Spake Zarathustra. Carlos Castaneda books. Magic. Carlos Castaneda. Who's this fella? American writer. Starting with the teachings of Don Juan, he wrote a series of books that purport to describe training in shamanism that he received under the tutelage of a Yaqui man of knowledge named Don Juan Matus. Castaneda's first 3 books were written when he was an anthropology student in the University of California. He wrote that these books were ethnographic accounts describing his apprenticeship with the traditional man of knowledge identified as Don Juan Matus, a Yaqui Indian from northern Mexico. The veracity of these books was doubted from their original publication and are considered to be fictional by some scholars. Castaneda was awarded his bachelor's and doctoral degrees based on these works described in this book. Interesting. Pretty popular, 8 million copies. Okay. Kind of like it. Yo, Fleur, thank you very much for membership. Really appreciate it. And it's particularly interesting because the whole thing might be fictional too. That's really interesting, yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll add this fella. Carlos Castaneda. That sounds really interesting. You should understand about Slavic paganism is that most accounts are left either in negative light from the Orthodox Church or in the form of ruins in Western Slavic and Baltic countries. Yeah, a lot of it was just straight up lost, wasn't it? Okay, that's pretty interesting one. Research how to be happy? No, there's no research on that, sorry. The Yazidi. What's the Yazidi? Oh, look, someone else suggested cicada. There we go. Well, a cicada's already on the list. Chaos magic. It's interesting, and I've been researching it myself as of late. I've been reading Liber Null and Psychonaut, but they're full-on books and kind of function as vague syllabi in a way. Yes, so chaos magic is actually very, very fascinating. And yes, that would absolutely be on the list. I did actually practice chaos magic a little bit myself for a while, so I do know a little bit about it. But it is super interesting stuff. It's an interesting way to see the world. About clowns. To study the earliest clowns as Egyptian priests and then mummers into mimes, harlequins, scaramouche, and American tram clowns. That would be pretty interesting, yeah. Except with cicadas. How you doing? I had a life. It's Cicada 3301. It's that old ARG. So, Yazidi are a very rare religious group in the Middle East that worship the peacock angel. Oh, okay. They just seem pretty interesting. Medieval bestiaries. The creatures are cool as fuck. I want to know how the idea of them came to be. That would actually be pretty sick. Looking at medieval bestiaries. I think that would actually be pretty sick, wouldn't it? Yeah, no, that's great. Because there's an account. It's like weird medieval guys or something like that on Twitter. Great account. Magnetohydrodynamics. Why would this topic be worth researching? It's got a cool name. Yeah, okay, let's take a look at this. Let's see. Is a model of electrically conducting fluids that treats all interpenetrating particle species together as a single continuous medium. Primarily concerned with low-frequency, large-scale magnetic behaviors in plasmas and liquid metals, and had applications in numerous fields including geophysics, astrophysics, and engineering. Just wondering how interesting it would be. Welcome to die. Yeah, I'm wondering if this is another thing that might just be a bit complicated, like the last one as well. I'll put it on the list. Might just end up being a bit complicated. Internet mysteries are on the table. I remember a write as being fairly interesting. Probably not. Yeah, I'm really hesitant to put ARGs and internet mysteries on the list. Cicada is the exception because it was so big and such a phenomenon. It was a cultural phenomenon as well, where most of them just really sort of aren't. Operation Midnight Climax. This is an early mind control experiment which was conducted in the 1950s. I think early psychology experiments are fascinating, so maybe that could be a topic in of itself. Oh, okay. Operation Midnight Climax. Let's have a look. You can find lots of stuff about this quite easily. I just want to say, keep up the good work. You're always entertaining. Oh, thank you very much. Operation Midnight Climax was an operation carried out by the CIA as a sub-project of MK Ultra. Oh, here we go. Let me see. Okay, what is it? The official results of the experiments were not released, but accounts from supervisors of the experiments give little insight into the findings. George Hunter White, an agent from Federal Bureau of Narcotics, noted that subjects spoke far more freely when under the influence of a combination of drugs and sex. No one knows where the human test subjects are now or what effects they may have suffered. Operation Midnight Climax was established in order to study the effects of LSD on non-consenting individuals. Prostitutes in the CIA payroll were instructed to lure clients back to the safe houses, where they were surreptitiously plied with a wide range of substances, including LSD, and monitored behind one-way glass. So just watching dudes have sex? Prostitutes were instructed in the use of post-coital questioning to investigate whether the victims could be convinced to involuntarily reveal secrets. Victims were sometimes fed subliminal messages in attempts to induce them to involuntary actions, including criminal activities such as robbery, assault, and assassination. What? Many of the CIA operatives involved in the experiments voluntarily indulged in the drugs and prostitutes for recreation purposes. Okay, this sounds great. This sounds great. I'm loving this one. Oh, man. Okay. That's great. That's a great one. Yick. Yick law and analysis breakdown. Why do you think this topic would be worth researching? It probably wouldn't be. Yeah. Secret Society, Skull and Bones. Yes, very interesting stuff. Oldest senior class society at the university, Skull and Bones has become a cultural institution known for its powerful alumni and various conspiracy theories. Many have ascended after graduation to positions of prominence in business or government. 3 of them, William Howard Taft, George H.W. Bush, and George W. Bush, became U.S. presidents. Ooh. Yes, Skull and Bones is super interesting. Super interesting. So we'll add it to the list. McCarthyism, Red Scare. McCarthyism was a phenomenon that happened in the US during the Cold War. During this period, people were accusing each other of being communist, which led them to getting blacklisted and investigated by the US government under false accusations. Essentially, it was a modern-day Salem witch trials, but Cold War edition. I thought the consensus was that it didn't go far enough, because you've got people like, what's his face from the movie, Oppenheimer, who was just straight up a communist. And then he just got no punishment whatsoever for being like an actual communist, just straight up giving the commies all the information about the bomb. But no, we probably won't comment. We won't cover something like this because, you know, commies and what have you. Lilith. Oh, okay. Lilith is a mother of demons in a few religions, in a way analog to Sylvian. It'd be interesting to delve into her and a few other female occult figures. Yes, that would actually be pretty interesting. Lilith. Hey, Duke Magus, we're researching government-sanctioned drug trafficking and pimping today. Yes, yes. And what are we doing on stream? Turned out they weren't false. When we got the Soviet records on CO, they actually had a paper trail back. People, yeah, that's the thing. It's like that's sort of what, like, you know, there's like straight up. The USSR was like, yeah, these people are working for us. Like just straight up, it was like, yeah, basically everybody that was accused was like, yeah, they're working for us. So, espionage. The Rosenbergs. Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were convicted of conspiring to pass US atomic secrets to the Soviets. Oh, here we go. Another red scare thing, hey? They became the only American spies to be executed during the Cold War. The governors... first wife of Adam, right? Yeah, there's something like that, isn't there? Yeah, again, probably not this. You know, communism. A bit hard to talk about today. Okay. Greek fire and its effectiveness. Greek fire would actually be really interesting to look into, wouldn't it? It was the most powerful weapon in naval combat, but how is it made? Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, the Greeks had a special concoction that they basically had attached a flamethrower to the front of their ships and demolished. Some Greek cities had this, and they don't know how it was made because the recipe was lost. It would actually be pretty interesting to look into. So. The Kalevala. Kalevala is a book of recorded Finnish oral tales and traditions, and it's so good. Okay, yeah, that's... I wouldn't mind looking into something like this. I'm not sure if there's a no, though. There's a Boys Town incident that involves high government officials and politicians involved in a massive paedophile ring prelude to Epstein. Yeah, it's difficult to talk about paedophile rings and conspiracies like that because YouTube often just says no. And it just destroys your channel in the algo, is the thing. Even if it's all legit, right? I'm not even sure if you can say Epstein's name anymore. Which is really fucking dumb, but this is sort of how it is, so. Yes, that would be good to read that. What was next? The Ship of Theseus. Take an old ship and change the parts to make it brand new. Is it a new ship or the same? Ship of Theseus, like, it would be really interesting to look at old philosophical problems like this as well. Yeah, if you're not familiar with the Ship of Theseus, it's an old sort of philosophical problem where if you have a ship, right, and then one day you're like, oh, I need to change out this one part, and then you change out the sails, and then the next day you change out the oars, and then the next day you change out some of the wood in the hull, right, and eventually, as you go along, there's no original parts in the ship, it's all brand new parts. Is it still the same ship? And then, if you take all the old parts you took off and then rebuild the ship out of that, which one is the same ship? Like, which one is it? It's an old philosophical problem. It's pretty interesting. So, it would be really cool to look into that. Grim Reaper paradox. It's a paradox that's meant to show certain or all infinite causal chains cannot exist and lead to contradictions. I haven't heard of this. Let's take a look. Grim Reaper paradox, you say? Okay. Suppose there are an infinite number of Grim Reapers. Each has an appointed time to kill Fred if it finds him alive. The last Grim Reaper, call it number 1, is appointed to do this exactly 1 minute after noon. The next to last, number 2, is appointed to do it 1/2 minute after noon, and so on. If it finds him alive, Reaper N will kill Fred in exactly half n minus 1 minutes after noon. Thus there is no first Reaper. For every given Reaper, there are infinitely more who precede it by moments. Whatever happens, we know that Fred can't survive this ordeal. If we go on with his life, he must still be alive at 12:01, and we know for certain that if he lives that long, then Reaper number 1 will kill him. But in order to survive to 12:01, he must still be alive at 30 seconds after 12, and at that time, etc. It appears that no Reaper will ever get the chance to kill Fred because each is preceded by another who will rob him of the opportunity. So it's impossible that Fred survives, but it's also impossible that any Reaper kills him. Must we say that he dies for certain, but of no cause? This is kind of a slightly different version of that other paradox. That what was it? I think it was the Runner's Paradox. The most cancelled man alive. What are you doing, Eating Baby Gaming? What are you doing? Go away. How do I... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, because there's an old Runner's Paradox. That was another old Greek one, right? Where... I think it's Achilles and the Tortoise, I think it was. Where a turtle starts ahead of Achilles, but Achilles is the fastest runner. I have no idea what that guy was spamming. And so Achilles has to, like, you know, he moves at a certain speed, but I can't remember how to tell it, but it's similar. It doesn't really matter. We can take a look at it. Grim Reaper Paradox. Achilles and the Tortoise, I believe it was. Tortoise. Anyway. What's down here? Occult depiction in art. I think it'd be enlightening to review some occult and mythological depictions in art. The Greek gods and Christianity, for example, have a lot of subtext in them. All the black paintings of Goya explicitly depict pagan ideals. It'd be fun to look at a few and discuss and break up the textual research and pure oration. Yeah, so we'd have to pick a specific artist really, and then take a look. Who are these? Let's take a look at these. Who's Goya? We'll pick one of these. Bosch. Hieronymus Bosch? Oh yeah, he did some fascinating stuff, didn't he? Oh, this is pretty cool. It's super cool, isn't it? You're joking. It's Francois. Okay, these are pretty interesting. Caravaggio. That's a beautiful picture, isn't it? Oh, this one. He did this one. You did a submission on Goya? Well, I guess we'll pick Goya then. Oh, he did this. He did the classic, right? Okay. So we'll say occult depictions in Goya. How about that? Occult depictions in Goya. There we go. Velasquez's portrait of Pope Innocent X. Let's take a look at this real quick, because that sounds interesting. Oh, he's an angry looking fella, isn't he? That's great. Cool. What's next? Four elements in cultures: fire, earth, wind, air. Warhammer Chaos Gods, Adventure Time elements, political compass. Do I need to continue? That's pretty broad. Unfortunately, you would need to pick a specific thing. Great Lechia. I believe conspiracy theory in some Polish nationalistic circles that before accepting Christianity, Poland was a massive empire called Great Lechia or Lechia Empire, taking over most of Europe and warring for territory with the Roman Empire. Believers say that supposedly its history and existence was concealed by Western media. Let's see. Great Lechia. how spicy is this take? That Great Lekia was a thing. I don't know how spicy that was. Is it like Hyperborea that is sort of like a legitimate theory, or like mythology, but this has been co-opted by nationalist people, or is it the straight up? Don't worry about swastika. That wasn't a swastika. No, it wasn't. Was it? It was a bit different. We'll put it in, and if it does make the cut, what I'll do is I'll poke around for a couple of days and then see how spicy it is, and if it's too spicy, we'll just pick something else. So that's okay. Load direction this channel is taking. Wesley started to engage with the cult. Yeah. Thank you very much, Gene. I am trying to do more interesting stuff, and I think this is just about the most interesting thing you can do. Okay. Let's see. Missing tribe of Israel. There's supposedly a missing 13th tribe of Israel. Some theories state they are related to the Visigoths. Others state they are still around but operating secretly. Now that sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting. Where are we up to? Project Bluebird. Precursor to MK Ultra, but has some darker experimentation to it. Might be interesting to touch with other mind control topics. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Project Bluebird. That's Kolovrat. It's literally not a Nazi thing. It's a symbol of death and rebirth cycle more they do. Yeah, that's what I expected, because the I mean, the swastika wasn't even, it was they didn't even make that up, right? They took that from somewhere else, so. Project developed and enacted by United States Central Intelligence Agency, researching methods of interrogation. Primary goal of Project Artichoke was to determine whether a person could be involuntarily made to perform an act of attempted assassination, study the effects of hypnosis, forced addiction, and subsequent withdrawal from morphine, other chemicals including LSD to produce amnesia. Wow. Okay, that is pretty interesting. I usually put Kolovrat in videos with Fonk and make edits of Alice. So it's you doing those videos. Okay. Francis de Goya. Here we go. Goya. Master of Western Art and Universal Art History that we don't know much about besides being parodied and referenced constantly worldwide. Yes. Yes. Okay. Ooh. Goya. Would you like to submit? You can squeeze in some. Let me just grab the link for you. Squeeze in a couple more if you like. But we're getting very close to the end, so hurry up. And how you doing, Media? Good to see you again. Ubicani 5. Oh, there we go. Another Ubicani 5. Yes, that's already on the list. What do we got? Project Blue Book. This is a different one from Bluebird. Let's see. Alien stuff. Ooh, okay. Alien talking about existence of secrets of man. Whole video. See the video. Why didn't this come up first? Whatever. Project Blue Book was a code name for the systematic study of unidentified flying objects by the Air Force from blah blah blah. The project blah, 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 had two goals, mainly to determine if UFOs were a threat to national security and to scientifically analyze UFO-related data. Okay. Interesting. Thousands of UFO reports were collected, analyzed, and filed as a result of the Condon Report, which concluded that the study of UFOs was unlikely to yield major scientific discoveries. A review of the report by the sciences. Okay, interesting. I like this, actually. I really like this. Let's see this video. Okay.
Are you scared of me?
Let's fucking go, bros.
over here.
I love it.
So for today, we're gonna talk about the project Blue Book, and
Let's go. We're doing it. We're doing it. You sold me. It's done. It's in. Awesome. We love to see it. Okay. Who put Bella in the Uick Elm? Who Put Bella in the Wick Elm is a graffiti that appeared in 1944 following the 1942 discovery by 4 children of the skeletonized remains of a woman inside the Wick Elm in Worcestershire, England. What the hell? What is this? Four teenage boys were trespassing on an aristocrat's property when they found a human skull hidden in a tree. It was April 1943 and Britain was in the midst of World War II, enduring nearly nightly air raids and tough food rationing. The boys had crept into the Hagley estate in Worcestershire to hunt birds and raid their nest to help with food on the table. When Bob Farmer climbed into the creepy limbs of an elm tree, he realised what he thought was an egg was actually a woman's head. A small patch of rotting flesh on the forehead with lank hair attached to it. The front teeth were crooked. Terrified boys, fearing retribution for trespassing and uncovering a potential murder, made a pact of silence. But the youngest boy could not keep a secret for long. Wow. Super interesting. This is super interesting. Yeah, I love this. Hey, Catholic Phoenix, how you doing? Will they do escape the Area 51 raid? I did. Don't tell them that. Okay, what do we got? Souls-like game mythology and philosophy. Just talking about From Software games, references, and world cosmology. Yeah, probably not. At least, definitely not first. I think we're going to try and steer clear of fictional stuff. And then it gets a bit broad as well when you start looking at all the different references and things and like what other mythologies it draws from. Mythologies and philosophies it draws from. So yeah, probably not for the first one at least. Maybe later. Read all the titles of Philip VI in Spain and his claims. He is a real owner of Israel, the Holy Roman Empire, and pretty much a big chunk of Europe, really? Let's see. This fella? Does it not say his? Hang on. Full. Why did you do that? Full title. Oh, it's in Spanish. No, I can't. Why am I surprised? What do you reckon? He is a king of Spain. He's head of state and commander-in-chief. I don't know, he doesn't seem that interesting. Yeah, probably not. He doesn't seem that interesting. Yeah. The Antikythera mechanism. Oh, this thing. Yeah. This thing's fascinating. Oldest known analog computer made out of stone. Yeah. Hand-powered orrery, described as the oldest known example of an analog computer, used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses decades in advance. It can also be used to track the 4-year cycle of athletics games, which is similar to the Olympiad. Yeah, pretty fascinating. Like an ancient clock. They just don't make academics like this anymore, do they? Hang on. They just don't make academics like this anymore, do they? So this is potentially what it could have looked like. The full mechanism. Or something similar, rather. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yes. On the list. Okay. Problem with this and a lot of these would be using essentially a limited number of primary source material. Yeah, that's bound to happen with some topics, but I think that's okay. Like, we don't have to, you know, some topics could be a lot shorter than others, and some topics could go for a bit longer, so I'm not that worried if something is like, you know, it's just only so much information out there. I think that's okay. Obviously, the more information, the better, but there is sort of a sweet spot where there's enough information, but not too much, so it's... Yeah, okay. Year 238 problem. Year 238 problem refers to time encoding error that will occur in the year 238 in 32-bit systems. This may cause havoc in machines and services that use time to encode instructions and licenses. Oh, is this the same as Y2K? Have an overflow error? Y2K 2.0. Okay, that's kind of interesting. What do you guys reckon? That's pretty interesting. Put it on the list. Y2K Terminator. That's the plot for Fear and Hunger 3, is that Logic has a Y2K bug. And then Logic shuts down overnight and everything just goes fucking chaotic. There you go. That's a setting for Fear and Hunger 3, isn't it? Logic Y2Ks. Shit, I'm writing that down. That's a great idea. Logic Y2K. Great idea. I'm gonna message Mirror. I'm gonna say, bro. Oops, sorry, bro. Got one for you. No need to thank me. Psychophonies. Psychophonies. Was reading and hearing about some of the audios of psychophonies that have gained traction as of late, and honestly, the whole thing is creepy and weirdly interesting to research. Nothing in the paranormal world terrifies me quite as much as them. What is this? Let's see.
Aló, la amiga.
Hola, ¿mi abuelita?
¿Cómo?
Abuelita, ¿eres tú? Abuelita. Abuelita,
¿Qué es eso? No me asuste, Contreras, con sus llamadas locas hasta ahora. ¿Quién habla?
Abuelita.
That's a creepy voice. Creepy little girl voice. Let's see, what psychophonies? Oh! Is a name given by Spiritism and some other spiritualist traditions to the phenomenon where, according to them, a spirit talks using the voice of a medium. Okay, Spiritist doctrine as codified by Allan Kardec identifies two main classes of psychophony, to say the conscious one and the unconscious one. The first one, as the name says, happens when the medium assures that he has mentally perceived or physically heard something that a spirit said. He only uses his voice to reproduce it. Okay, this is pretty interesting. Yeah. We like that. Okay, good. Next. What's next? What do we got? Jeez, you guys just keep submitting them. At the start of the stream, you know how many were here at the start of the stream? 29. And I know that for a fact because I wrote it down. The Philadelphia experiment is a banger, isn't it? It's an absolute banger. That's a freebie, I think. That's the teleportation experiment. Philadelphia experiment was an alleged event claimed to have been witnessed by an ex-merchant mariner named Carl M. Allen at the United States Navy Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. Allen described an experiment where the US Navy attempted to make a destroyer escort class ship, the USS Eldridge, disappear and the bizarre results that followed. If you're familiar with Portal lore and the Aurora Borealis in that game, that's based on the Philadelphia experiment. So it's a great one. So coffin to be a form of possession then? Yes, it does seem to be, yeah. But yeah, that's super fascinating, the Philadelphia experiment. Spirit animals. Werewolves, spirit animals, and other forms of skin-changing transfigurations from ancient times to present day. Skin-changing and transfigurations. So, like... Because spirit animals has that, like, other term, doesn't it? Let's see. Because there's a lot of people that use it as like modern day crystal esotericism that's not very useful. I don't know if we'd be able to find a lot of stuff. Is there like a different term for this? Because if we're just looking up spirit animal, we're going to get a lot of pretty useless information here. Werewolves, spirit animals, other forms of skin changing and transfigurations. I don't know if we're going to get... What term would you use? I'm not entirely sure what it means, to be honest. Teleological views of history. The idea that human history marches towards an endpoint or goal. I think it's a pretty central theme of Fear and Hunger series. Yeah, that is pretty interesting. Let's see. Teleology. What's it for? Knowing something's purpose and end goal is commonly seen as integral to comprehending or constructing it. The practice of viewpoint of teleology. Yeah, this would be pretty interesting to look into, wouldn't it? Teleology. Teleology. Yeah. yeah, that is a big part of communism too. It's pretty interesting. Okay, what do we got? Baghdad battery. Yeah, that's a freebie. That's a freebie. Baghdad battery, boys. Let's go. Ho, ho, ho. Its origin and purpose remain unclear. It was hypothesized by William Koenig that at the time director of National Museum of Iraq, the object functioned as a galvanic cell, possibly used in electroplating or some kind of electrotherapy. Now, if you're unfamiliar, there's a certain item that they found that appears to be a very rudimentary battery. It's a ceramic pot, a tube of copper, and a rod of iron. It was discovered in present-day Kujut Rabu in Iraq. It's believed to... Blah, 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 origin purpose remained unclear. It could have been a sort of battery. There is no electroplated object known from this period, and the claims are near universally rejected by archaeologists. An alternative explanation is that it functioned as a storage vessel for sacred scrolls. Artifact disappeared in 2003 during the US-led invasion of Iraq. They want to keep it. They want to keep us down. That's crazy. That's sort of crazy that artifacts are just straight up disappearing during the Iraq War. Okay, I think that's probably more interesting than the fact that there's the Baghdad battery. Maybe not more interesting. As interesting. Oh yeah, if you're behind, you can use the you can go double speed to catch up in the settings, or if you click the live icon, it should catch up. Where did it go? Question mark. Okay, I like that. Baghdad battery. Where did it go? Wow, that's kind of crazy. That's legitimately crazy that the Baghdad battery vanished. You're actually kidding. That's actually okay. That's legitimately bumped it up on the list, I think. Not only is the Baghdad battery itself really interesting, but it's gone. What the hell? Okay. Tunguska explosion. A mysterious explosion that happened in Russia in 1908 that destroyed a big portion of land, potentially killing 3 individuals and believed to have been the work of a meteorite. The investigations have been inconclusive. Something incredible for an explosion that big. Yes, Tunguska explosion is very interesting. It's part of the Saturnian cosmology website that it says it got vaporized by an electrical bolt. due to the normalization of current between the meteorite and Earth. It's pretty fascinating stuff. But yes, that is pretty interesting. Tunguska explosion. But they use a battery to charge our economies. Pulsar de Nura, Sword of Moses, Sefer occult books. Rare case of westernized religion openly being used to make black magic rituals against political enemies. Actually some pretty deep lore and grimoires and other stuff, magic books and artifacts from Kabbalah. Okay, what is this? I haven't heard of this before. Pulsar de Nura. Sword of Moses. Or is that the Sword of Moses? Pulsar de Nura, or Pulsar de Nura, or is it the same word? Lashes of fire. It is purportedly an ancient Kabbalistic ceremony in which the destroying angels are invoked to block heavenly forgiveness of the subject's sins, allegedly causing all the curses named in the Bible to befall him, resulting in his death. It's controversial for having been allegedly invoked against several contemporary political figures. Its historicity, I've never said that word before in my life. Historicity has been questioned. In Mixpaca, the Haredi magazine, Dr. Dov Schwartz of Ben Allen University and the heretic public figure Moshe Blau argue that the ceremony has no basis in traditional Judaism and actually originates mid-20th century. Okay. Pretty interesting. It's a Sword of Moses. Is Sword of Moses the same thing? No, it's not. Sword of Moses is the title of an apocryphal Hebrew language book on magic in 1896. From the 13th and 14th century. Okay. Yeah, this is super interesting. We like that. Okay. My internet keeps hiccuping the stream. It's probably my internet. My internet always does that. Okay. What do we got? Human vivisection of Hierophilus. Okay. Let's see. What's this? Hierophilus. Was a Greek physician regarded as one of the earliest anatomists. There we go. First scientist to systematically perform scientific dissections of human cadavers. He recorded his findings in 9 works, which are now lost. He vivisected 600 prisoners, although it's been disputed. Very interesting, very interesting. Oh, we like that. Hierophilus. Okay. Mandela effect. Yes, that's already on the list. Carrington event. Carrington event was one of the most intense geomagnetic storms in recorded history, peaking from 1 to 2 September 1856. It would create a strong aurora display as it reported globally and caused sparking even fires in multiple telegraph stations. Really interesting. Carrington event. It's a solar flare. Wow. Okay, that's sick. Australian internet, NBN's so far behind. We're not even using that. We're on Starlink because the actual NBN and the other satellites are just dog shit out here. So bad. Detected toxicology? Yes, did. Oh, here we go. 1983 nuclear false alarm incident. Oh, this was the one where that was the one where the US were launching a satellite to the Arctic, and then they told the USSR, but the message wasn't passed on, so they thought it was like an actual bomb coming towards them. Oh no, this is different. At the height of the Cold War, Soviets designed an early warning radar system meant to track fast-moving threats to increase the chance of reprisal. On September 26, 1983, however, the system codenamed Oko malfunctioned. At around midnight, Oko's alarms rang out, alerting the base that one incoming nuclear missile. The screen read launch, which is not a warning, but an automatic order to prepare for retaliation. Okay. That sounds interesting. Yeah. Didn't oopsie whoopsie. Yeah, we could have nuked everything. Okay. Next, what do we got? Harp. Oh, we love harp. Harp's going straight in. The government weather machines. An experiment where electricity was injected into the ionosphere. Originally described as an atmospheric research project, some theories say this is a cover for a project to modify the weather, create an atmospheric weapon, or affect the psychology of mass amounts of people at one time. Oh yeah, no, we believe in government weather control here, so definitely, yep. Harp's going straight in. Government weather control, baby. Okay, what's next? Sword of Gojien. In 1965, the sword was found in an ancient tomb in Hubei. The Sword of Gojien was a tin bronze sword, renowned for its unusual sharpness, intricate design, and resistance to tarnish, rarely seen in artifacts of similar age. The sword is generally attributed to Gojien, one of the last kings of Yue. I'm sure I mispronounced all of those words, but yeah, lots of swords today, isn't it? That's fine though, we love swords. That's beautiful. Look at that. Wow. What a beautiful artifact. The sword was found in an ancient tomb in Hubei. It's currently in possession of... The sword was damaged by a worker on loan to Singapore. God, why does that always happen? Yeah, okay. That's interesting, yeah. You know what, we'll pop it in. That might be a bit simple, but we'll pop it in. We'll pop it in. Okay. Tesla's Teleforce weapon. What the hell is this? Nikola Tesla came to have invented a death beam, which he called Teleforce. In the 1930s, he continued the claims up to his death. He invented so much. Teleforce was proposed as a defense weapon by Nikola Tesla that accelerated pellets or slugs of material to high velocity inside a vacuum via electrostatic repulsion, then fired them out of aim nozzles at intended targets. Tesla claimed to have conceived of it after studying the Van de Graaff generator. Tesla described the weapon as being able to be used against ground-based artillery or anti-aircraft. Isn't that like a railgun? Yeah, that's cool. We got a Tesla railgun. That's sick. Okay, we're adding it. And I'll try and build one. No, I won't try and build one. Okay, what's next? Jeez, there's a lot of... Actually, you know, I should say there's a lot of bang. It's really windy here, so there's banging of trees and stuff like that, so there might be some weird noises. DIY stream. Okay, discussions about Japanese urban legends or perhaps some obscure or maybe weird stories spread around it. Despite the massive differences in language barrier, I believe it can prove a challenge in researching some obscure, since there's a lot of mysteries around these topics. Yeah, it would be super interesting. I would love to tackle like Japanese urban legends and myths and stuff as well, but we do need specific ones for this. So, no weird noises. Okay, that's good. Operation Spoil Sport. What a name. Cold War Russian plan to blow a nuke at the thinnest parts of the Earth's crust deep in the ocean? What? What is this? Was this real? Was it real? Nothing real is coming up. I feel like it may have been real. Spoil Sport? Was it called something else? Cold War. Russia. Try Spoil Sport. No. I don't know, nothing's coming up. Anyway, next one. Cult of Supreme Being versus Cult of Reason. During the French Revolution, revolutionaries wanted to institute a new state religion. The most popular option at the time was a new atheistic religion called Cult of Reason. But Robespierre thought that some level of theological belief was important. They argued about it at the time, but I don't know much more than that. Cult of Reason, that sounds interesting. France's first established state-sponsored atheistic religion. Intended as a replacement for Roman Catholicism during the French Revolution. After holding sway for barely a year, in 1974 it was officially replaced by the rival deistic Cult of Supreme Being promoted by Robespierre. Both cults were officially banned in 1802 by Napoleon and his law on cults in 18th Gen. This sounds really interesting, doesn't it? Yeah, you know what? We'll throw it in. That sounds really fascinating. Marvin Haymeyer. He sounds familiar. Marvin John Haymeyer was an American automail muffler repair shop owner who demolished numerous buildings with Killdozer. Let's go, boys! Should we do Killdozer? I don't know if we should do Killdozer. I don't know if there's a lot to research about Killdozer, to be honest. We stand Killdozer here, but I just don't know if there's like enough to cover with it. Is the thing. Yeah. I don't know, I'm just worried that there wouldn't be like enough to talk about. So. Didn't more info come out recently? Did it? I have no source. Let's see. Ooh, it's really windy here at the moment. I'm not really seeing anything new here. Yeah. Mine was a cool guy. They executed him when they arrested him. I think they kind of... No, they... Wait, oh. Don't they have it on camera where he, like, shoots himself? How you doing, Absolute Truth? Yeah, I just don't think there'd be enough to talk about, unfortunately. Which is a shame, because I would love to cover Killdozer, but... Yeah, I don't think there's quite enough to talk about. Read Marvin's famous quote so that sometimes reasonable people need to do unreasonable. That is a banger quote, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes reasonable people must do unreasonable things. This is in here, actually, let's see. Reasonable. Here we go. I was always willing to be reasonable until I had to be unreasonable, he wrote. Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things. Yeah, pretty sad story all around. Okay. What's happening right now? We're just going over a proposal for the first research club. Bygone pipes. What is this? Bygone pipes are a series of pipe-like features identified as fossil trees or tree roots, found on and near White Mountain. Some bygone pipes are reported to be associated with 3 caves. These caves are reported to occur within the... Why are there no pictures? Show me pictures of the bygone pipes. What the hell? Oh, that's so weird. Wow. That's really interesting, isn't it? Look at them. Jeez. Wow. Okay. Yeah, let's throw it in. Search for the Dimmu Borgir area in Iceland. Isn't that a band? Oh, nothing's coming up. Okay, what's next? Operation Long Jump. Oh, what was that one? I remember that. Was an alleged German plan to simultaneously assassinate Joseph Stalin, Winston Churchill, and Franklin D. Roosevelt, the Big Three, at the 1983 Tehran Conference during World War II. Operation in Iran was to be led by the SS of the Waffen-SS, a group of agents from the Soviet Union. Uncovered the plot before its inception, the mission was never launched. The assassination plan is constructed to be popularized by the Russian media. That does seem kind of interesting, doesn't it? People aren't even sure if it's real. There have been debates about its veracity of the story. Sketches brought up a number of arguments in that regard. Firstly, the German espionage network in Iran had been destroyed earlier than that. Secondly, more than 3,000 NKVD security troops guarded the city for the duration of the conference without incident. Thirdly, both Roosevelt and Churchill travelled on foot or open jeep throughout their 4-day stay. And the guy who was supposed to have done it just denied it. Interesting. Okay, that's pretty interesting. You know what? We'll put it in. And a couple more. Waco Siege. Probably not Waco. It's a bit of a hot topic, and I think it's been covered to death anyway. Operation Long Knife's probably been covered to death too, to be honest. Waco is still a bit of a hot button, I think, and I think that's one of those things you can get nuked on YouTube about too. So, Mel's Hole. What about a goodie? Tale of a bottomless pit found in Ellensburg, Washington. There's apparently a hole to another dimension and became quite the heated topic after a man named Mel Waters spoke of it, his experiences and ownership of the damn thing on his land. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for coming in, Apple. Bottomless Pit. Claims about it were first made on the radio show Coast to Coast AM. Calling yourself Mel Waters, later investigation revealed no such person was listed and residing in that area. No credible evidence has been found that the hole ever existed. That does sound interesting. I wonder if this is going to be a bit small though. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we can do... Why is this so big? Hang on. Oh, because I'm copying the headers, aren't I? I'm an idiot. You know what we might do is we might have like shorter ones as well. Because we're getting a lot of suggestions that are like quite short, aren't they? So maybe we'll consider doing like, if a month is too long, we might consider like doing, you know, we can research this for like a week, 2 weeks, right? Cult of Glycon. Let's see. Was an ancient snake god. He had a large influential cult within the Roman Empire in the 2nd century, with contemporary satirist Lucian providing the primary literary reference to the deity. Lucian claimed Glycon was created in the mid-2nd century by the Greek prophet Alexander of Abonotekos. Lucian was ill-disposed towards the cult, calling Alexander a false prophet and accusing the whole enterprise of being a hoax. Interesting. They worshipped an actual physical snake said to embody the god. Wow. Okay, that's pretty sick. Yeah, okay, we have to do that one. Glycon. That's pretty sick. Christ of the Abyss. A memorial for all those who lost their lives at sea to a monument. A monument to those who continue to dive beneath it. Oops. V. Thank you. I'm not copying that. There we go. Wait, is this actually a submerged statue of Jesus? That's pretty impressive. Terrifying, actually. That's pretty cool. I don't think we could, like, spend a long time researching that, though. Like, I don't think there's much to research about it. That's pretty cool, though. Go to the depths. Thomas Merlin's Cryptids. British builders in the 60s accidentally, during the renovation of an orphanage, discovered a basement with boxes in which the remains of mysterious creatures were kept. Scientists suggested that it was the existence of the collection of Thomas Merlin. A colleague devoted his whole life to searching for cryptids, the existence of which he was able to prove. Sounds pretty fake. The name like Merlin? Dunno. Why are these all .ru? I don't like these sort of museums where they have fake cryptids on display. I think it's kind of... I don't like it. It gives me bad vibes for some reason. These are all Russian websites too, for some reason. Okay. Crooked Forest. Unusual places. Crooked Forest. Oh, I think I've heard of this one. Remains a mystery to this day. Yeah, I think this one's pretty easy to solve, though, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think that was very interesting. Sorry. Someone they just pushed the trees over, or it was like covered in snow or something. Damascus steel. Didn't they figure that out? Lost metalworking technique of Persian Empire marked by unique striations in the metal. Many have theorized and experimented on recreating technique, but no one seems to prove it 100%. Trees look like your old editor BB or Jamina characters. These sorts are characterized by distinctive patterns of banding and mottling reminiscent of flowing water, sometimes a ladder or rose pattern. Such blades were reputed to be tough, resistant to shattering, and capable of being honed to a sharp edge. Woots, Pulad, Fulad, and Bulat Binti are all names for the historic ultra-high carbon crucible steel. Yeah, we could look into that. Nothing burger? That's the impression I'm getting. Since when and why Switzerland became neutral on every... I heard Switzerland had amazing mercenaries and participated in various wars, but they decided to stop. Oh yeah, why is Switz... How the fuck do you spell Switzerland? Switzerland neutral. Yeah. No more. Okay, 103 is the last one. We've been going for fucking hours now. Rupkund or Skeleton Lake? Rupkund. A lake in which 300 people's remains have been found. Still no explanation. What the hell? High altitude glacial lake in Uttarakhand state of India. It lies in the lap of Trishul Massif. Located in the Himalayas, the area around the lake is uninhabited and roughly at an altitude of very high. Surrounded by rock-strewn glaciers and snow-clad mountains. It's widely known for the hundreds of ancient human skeletons found at the edge of the lake. The human skeletal remains are visible at its bottom when the snow melts. Initial investigations led to believe they were the remains of some semi-legendary event when a single group was suddenly killed in a violent hailstorm in the 9th century. But scientific research has subsequently shown that remains belong to 3 distinct groups who died in 2 independent events, around 800 AD and 1800 AD, respectively. Because the human remains, the lake has been called Skeleton Lake. That's cool. What the hell? And it's so old. Yeah, okay. That's really interesting. Why do the Swiss eat? Don't the Swiss eat dogs? What the hell? Demon classifications. Yeah, that comes with Solomon, right? Everyone's talking about Solomon, but there are lists and classifications even beyond the Goetica. For example, Sebastian Michaelis includes demons in his book, not in Solomon's. It would be fun to compare a few of the demonic classifications. We'll find you in there somewhere. Yeah, okay, let's have a look-see. Growing concern about regular loss of skeletons. Yeah, we can take a look at demonic classifications. Hang on. Demonic classifications. Here we go. Alright, last one. No more after this. Talos. The Minoan civilization was a Bronze Age culture centered in the Isle of Crete. Known for its monumental architecture and energetic art, is often regarded as the first civilization in Europe. Really? A giant automaton made of bronze to protect Europa in Crete from pirates and invaders. He circled the island shores 3 times daily. Cool. It's usually said to be made by Hephaestus at the request of Zeus to protect Europa from people who would want to kidnap her. Most detailed treatment in literature is found in Argo Nautica. Okay, interesting. So, Talos and Minos. Minoans. Talos and Minoans. Okay. Okay. So. Now we need to shorten this to 4. Okay. Now, are there any that stood out to you guys that you would like? I'm really liking Baghdad Battery because it went missing. That's insane. Yeah, you know what I'll do? I will make a new text. Bag, how do you spell that? Hang on, where is it? Baghdad Battery. Oh, this is like really big. Color. Yeah. So we need to get this list down to 4, right? Do you know, I do need that white, don't I? Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close this. I'm a professional, guys. I'm a professional streamer. Here you go. Baghdad Battery. Good. Bring this down here. Okay. Baghdad Battery. Minoans, you reckon? Biasing some of mine? That's okay, vote for yours. Big fan of Sarcophany, and there's a lot of resources surrounding them. Bronze Age collapse is a huge one, though. Oh, I liked... let's go through. Let's just go through them, right? Supernormal Stimuli, pretty good. Stargate's always a classic. Pallades, yeah, that was interesting. I don't know if I want to do that for the first one, though. Same with Human Animal Souls. Elan Boarding School, because it's been covered so much. I don't know if that'd be interesting for the very first one. Evolution of Horror. Let's see. I liked Akafali, right? Hang on. I really liked Akafali. And electroculture farming. That's insane. Culture farming. Like what? Funeral things, you reckon? Merlin was interesting. Jungian psychology. I kind of really like Jungian psychology. I'll just write a second shortlist. Young. That's not used, but young. I liked Witch Trials. Witch Trials. Midnight Climax seemed pretty good. Climax. Who put Bella in the Witch Elm seemed interesting. I don't know if there'd be a lot of sources about that though. Chaos magic or toxicology? Chaos magic is pretty interesting, isn't it? Magic. With a K? Yeah, what was that alien one? Hang on, what was that alien one? Was it Blue Book? It was Blue Book, wasn't it? Yeah. Blue Book. What is Mel's hole? It was an alleged bottomless pit by a guy who was allegedly owned by a guy named Mel, but then they couldn't actually find the guy. So Jungian psychology is good because we can talk about the Persona series. Witch trials are good because we can talk about how climate change caused witch paranoia. Teleforce was pretty cool, wasn't it? Yeah, I think this is a good shortlist. Hang on, let me just go. What was it? Teleforce, right? Teleforce. No, it's not Teke Force. Teleforce. Okay. Okay. So this is the first shortlist. We'll get rid of this. Bad Dad Battery, Akafale, Electric Culture Farming, Jung, Witch Trials, Midnight Climax, Chaos Magic, Blue Book, Teleforce. These are all really good. These are all really good. Let's see. I'm going to take out Blue Book. And what we can do then... And what we'll do now is we'll do... Electroculture is going in the list. Baghdad Battery is going in the list. Yeah, you guys have some fantastic suggestions. Like, this is exactly the sort of suggestions I want. And this is the problem that I want to have. I want to be like... What? Which one do we choose, right? And I'm just choosing the top 4, and then you guys are gonna vote afterwards, right? So, so it's like this is the ideal problem to have, right? Okay, so Bad Dad Battery, Electric Farming. I do want to do Akafale, but I feel like I know a bit about it, and I feel like it might be a bit heavy for the first topic. Is the thing? It's Akafale Cult and Magazine is fascinating, but I feel like it's a bit heavy for the first topic. So Baghdad Battery, Electric Farming. Akafale was a cult made by Georges Bataille, a Frenchman in the 1930s, and he was well versed in magic. And what they did was, when you joined the cult, you promised 2 things, right? You promised that you would be willing to be a human sacrifice to actually literally die for the cult, but you also promised to not kill another member of the cult. So the human sacrifice could never actually take place, but there's still rumors that they actually did it. It's pretty interesting. Baghdad Battery, Electric Farming. I wonder if Jung might be too heavy too, because Jung's great, but he's a bit... We could probably find some easier introduction books, right? Baghdad, Akafale, Farming, Teleforce are the good four. I'm starting to agree. You know what? Let's get a good mix, right? Let's go Baghdad Battery for technology, for ancient technology, Electroculture for modern technology, Midnight Climax for crazy CIA stuff, and Chaos Magic for modern esotericism. Akafali could go modern esotericism too, couldn't it? But Chaos Magic's a lot easier to read for sure. Okay, I think this is a good list. I think we got it. I think this is a good list. So what was it? If I could spell, that'd be great. Baghdad, Battery, Electroculture, Farming, Chaos Magic, Operation Midnight Climax. And anything we don't do now, we can sort of do later as well. So it's not like a big deal if there's something we can't do now. So this is what I'm thinking for the final voting list. Which tribes probably require more ground rules since it can become divisive if things get out of hand? That's a good point. It probably could, because people still think it's a bit of a hot button topic, don't they? Witch burnings from 500 years ago. Those feel like sovereign logic abilities. Okay, I like this list. Baghdad Battery, Electroculture Farming, Chaos Magic, Midnight Climax, and Akafale and Young. I feel like they're probably a bit hard to get into. Teleforce is pretty interesting though. No, all right, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, because Teleforce is sort of like technology, and we've already got a bit of technology, so. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with this list. I'm really happy with this list. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put up the poll now. Let me just put that up in the community tab, and I'll link that in just a second. Okay, so please vote on which topic you'd like to research for the very first research club! ! And I'll just have a brief description. Baghdad Battery. A mysterious vase that appeared to be some kind of ancient battery that went missing during the, was it 2003 Iraq invasion by US forces. Electroculture. You just beat Blasphemous? Good job. It's fun, isn't it? Electroculture Farming. A farming method that allegedly drastically increases crop yields by using electricity. This is insane. Chaos Magic. Modern brand of what do you call it? Maybe like atheistic magic, I guess. Of magic that uses reason. How do we vote? There will be I'll link it in a second. But it'll be on my community tab on this channel, so that uses reason. Modern brand of magic that uses. I'm just gonna. How do you fucking define chaos magic? Chaos magic. Least schizo stream. Well, I hope we're gonna get a lot more schizo than that. Invented religion. That attempted to strip away symbolic, ritualistic, or theological, and otherwise ornamental. Okay. A modern brand of excuse me. Typic magic that strips away all theology and religion from the practice. That's a good description. A modern brand of scientific magic that strips away all theology and religion from the practice. It is basically secular magic, yeah. Operation Midnight Climax. A CIA initiative to try to use drugs and prostitutes to interrogate and brainwash targets. Okay. And text poll. Battery. Electroculture. I kind of want to do electroculture farm. I think that'd be sick. I'd probably like electrocute myself doing it though. Topic. The choices are as follows. This is not very pretty. Maybe next time I'll try and do a little image for it. It'll be funny. Okay. This is fine. The ancient missing battery. It's pretty interesting, isn't it? Okay, can I get a link to this? No, I can't get a link to this. What the hell? Wait, hang on. I can, I just need to do it a different way. 1 second. YouTube's a bit weird sometimes. Here. Go vote here, please. And in about 24 hours, I will come back, and after tomorrow's stream, I will sort of close the... I probably should have said that, hey. It's fine. Can I edit it? You can't edit, no. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I'll come back and then we'll pick a topic and I'll announce it here as well. Announce it on Discord and announce it on Twitter. Also, we will have discussions for it. There is a specific spot for discussions of Research Club in the Discord, which you can join here if you're not a member already. So it's like a pretty short amount of time to vote for how involved the topics are. You reckon? Can you give it a couple of days? We can give it a couple of days. Yeah. Baghdad. Oh, I did misspell it, didn't I? Never mind. That's fine. Maybe I'll call it after my stream on Friday then, because you know I'm not going to be doing anything tomorrow afternoon anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'll just call it after stream on Friday. So that's fine. I can give it 2 days then. Okay. Well, I think that's all we need to talk about for today then. Now we've picked all of our topics. What do you reckon? Is there anything else we need to discuss? I think now we just need to wait for the voting to conclude, and then. Okay, so what I'll do now. Is we'll wait for this to conclude, which will be 2 days. And then what I'll do is I will take a look at whichever wins and then make sure there is enough resources to actually look into this. and then next week I will, if not, I will I'll go down the list, right? You know, I'll look at the one with the most votes and then just double check. And I'm pretty sure there is, like, these feel like topics with a lot of writing about them, but I'll just double check. And then in case the one that has the most voting doesn't have like much information at all, what I'll do is I'll go to the second one and then double check that, and then I'll just go down the list until I find whichever one has enough stuff to talk about. And then I'll announce it on Twitter and Discord and on the community tab. So yeah. I'm pretty confident that all four of these have more than enough information for us, but just in case they don't, it's always good to have a backup plan, right? Or it turns out there's actually, like, there is a lot of information, but it's just really, really, really boring. You know, maybe it turns out the Baghdad battery stuff is actually, it's actually just really dull. You know, it might be for a full month of study, now that I think about it. Whatever, we don't have to go for a full month. We can go for like a couple of weeks. It wouldn't be that bad to do a short one for the first time, right? Yeah, so that's about it for today. Is there anything else that you guys think needs to be discussed? I think we're good to go. We had fantastic submissions this time. All these submissions were amazing. And if your suggestion didn't make it in, but it was still a good one, because we had a massive list, right? Submit it again next time. And, you know, who knows, maybe it'll make the list then. Because, you know, it depends on how I'm feeling, what, you know, what's going on, what else is submitted, you know. So there's a lot of variables going on there. So how's your head feeling? It's not as good as it could be. It's better now I've got those bloody headphones off, I'll tell you that much. But I am feeling it. But yes, this should be fun. All of these 4 options look great. Baghdad battery, electriculture farming, chaos magic, and midnight climax. I think I have a preference, but I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to influence the voting too much. So, but yes, thank you all very much for the excellent suggestions. Thank you all for coming in today and just chatting about this with me. So this is all pretty great. So. Yeah, that's it for today then. Now we just wait for the voting, I think. I don't think there's anything else left to do. So yes, tomorrow we have Blasphemous at the same stream time this one started. We're going through new game stuff, and then on Friday we have Fear and Hunger Termina, and that's going to be a really fun stream. Yeah, I can tell you what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and beat Termina and not break the 10 Commandments. So that's what we're going to try and do on Friday, is try and beat Termina without breaking the 10 Commandments, which I think is going to be pretty funny. But yeah, so that should be good, and I'll see you guys. Yeah, that's I don't know. I'm stalling. I don't know why. I think there's something in my head that's like you have something else to say, but I don't remember what it is. Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you all very much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the fun, very good start to Research Club, and I will see you again, yeah, tomorrow. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.